Eric has banned out Noir and Loki, El Matador, and El Matador banned out Noir and Zeus. I'm not going to be seeing any of that Noir shenanigans here, Maiden. What are you saying?
El Matador, the last he played in the what's it called, the Captain's Draft tournament.
Yep.
And did he actually? Well, I can't remember whether or not his team won or not. Anyway, he had a beastly Thor in that tournament. Now, Thor in 1v1's different story compared to Thor in team games, by all means. But interesting to see Thor there. Eric allowing Thor there. I guess he doesn't want to go against Loki, but I guess he's feeling more confident going against Thor. That's the main thing that's jumping out to me in terms of El Matador. He seems like a type of player where he's just a good RTS player. He's a really high-level AoE2 player. And so he might have certain gods he prefers to play, but I feel like he's just a good RTS player, right? So maybe you know him better than I do. Maybe you like his draft better than I do, but it seems to be a bit...
He is absolutely just a good RTS player. Absolutely. You nailed it. Like, this guy, I'm pretty sure he was like in the top... I might be over-exaggerating. I'm pretty sure he was somewhat in the top of Age of Empires 2 because he's been playing Age of Empires 2 and Mythology. So maybe top 100, maybe top 50. I'm not exactly sure.
50,
maybe someone in the chat.
I think 50 for sure.
Someone can correct me there. But yeah, he plays like a top Age of Empires 2 player as well. Because he's got that army control. His macro is impeccable. Where he makes mistakes often comes into the strategic side of things, which I think Eric has got a very, very specific way of playing Age of Mythology. Very specific. We're going to be seeing the god picks coming through here. It's going to be Thor versus Ushi on Ghost Lake. And when I say Eric's got a very specific strategic style, I mean, he's got his notepad, he's got his notebook down, very Mr.-esque. He knows all the matchups. He knows what to do in all the matchups. He has the specific sort of like, okay, if he does this, I do this. If he does this, I do this. But when it comes down to it and you're playing against a really good RTS player like El Matador, sometimes those sort of like preconceived ideas, they just go out the window. Because, when someone's amazing, they're going to do things that other players might not be able to do. You're going to find yourself in positions you're not normally in. So you're going to have to start thinking about making strategic decisions on the spot, tactically speaking, and as a more overall sort of idea. But Thor versus Fushi Maiden, another sort of Norse versus Chinese matchup. We just saw one. What is there something kind of different here for Thor than maybe Odin, and maybe something going to go a little bit different? What do you reckon?
Well, okay. So you're just talking about decision making, right?
Yes.
And kind of in the the thing about that, I agree with you, but you kind of know exactly what you're going to get with Thor, right? If Thor is played optimally, you're going to have the later post 4-minute advance. You're going to have the armory coming out, and on and on and on, right? You really kind of know what you're going to get, and so it's up to Eric. Well, it's up to both players to kind of execute what they need to execute. With Fushi, what I'm expecting, if I'm not mistaken, Fushi can go for the Pioneer aggression. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong.
Pioneers are good, says AOL Iron Maiden.
The Pioneers are good, you see. My ancestors were actually pioneers, not the China folk, but Anyway, so I think there's maybe some opportunity there for Eric to put some early Pioneer pressure on Thor. He knows there's going to be a late advance. There's no, Earth Wall to defend him. Ghost Lake can give you only one starting gold mine. So he might be able to kick Thor off of the gold mine right away, force the classical age Dwarven gold mine, and gold pressure, gold pressure, gold pressure. That's what I'm expecting from Eric there. I don't know if he's going to decide to go for anything other than that. Is there an alternative option? I suppose there are, but...
Okay, well, so you're right. Thor, kind of right. Thor is sort of one-dimensional in the fact that the obvious strategy is put the armory down, get your armory upgrades out, and go.
Yeah.
But we've seen it before. Thor versus Kronos, Mr. versus... I want to say it was Magic. I think he was probably one of the first players to show it off. You could just go for a regular advance time nice and quick. There's nothing wrong with that. And then you can drop your armory later, get your armory upgrades in, and you defend all the early pressure. No problems. Another crazy strategy available on Ghost Lake for Thor is you can go for a 315 advance time and rush. So if the Fushi wants to do the aggression, you don't want to deal with it, you want to be the one who wants to aggress, you can just go, all right, let's advance quick here and let's go and attack them. Say the Valkyrie in your main base at 315 into the game sounds pretty good to me, so let's try that. So there are some other options, but you're right. The strategy is just really powerful for Thor to advance a little bit later. However, we did see, well, what I saw from El Matador yesterday against Mini Yeti in his game, it was a Freya versus Kronos game, so kind of similar in terms of how the aggression and later advance dynamic works. El Matador wants to go for that later advance time, and he doesn't even, it's like he doesn't even care that there could be potentially aggression coming at him. So we might see something similar here where he just goes, I'm just going to deal with it if it comes. If it doesn't come, great. If it does come, I'm scared, but I'll try and deal with it. So yeah, we might be seeing one thing, we might be seeing something else. I mean, those are the questions, but it will depend very much so on this Ghost Lake spawn. Is it going to be the 1 gold mine, the 2 gold mine? You tell me. Let's have a prediction in the chat here. Is it going to be 1 gold mine? We'll bet on it.
Boy, you've been crushing it with the quotes today. Like, if he plays better, he's probably going to win the series. He could do economy, military, or tech. Like, you know, we could see we could see. It's like, yes. Boyd's informing us excellently today.
We've got some high level commentary coming at you right now.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. Like, I know there are possibilities with Thor, but is El Matador? What is he the type of player to? If you're gonna bust out a 315 Thor advance, you don't just bust it out, dude. You gotta prep for something like that, right? You gotta like practice it at least a little bit.
Just a little bit. I don't know. I mean, do you really have to practice something to be good at it? Some people will tell me differently. They'll just go, this got so easy. You just do whatever you want, and it just works. No, I know El Matador. I know he's got his practice behind the scenes with his practice partners. I know he's got his ideas already as to what he's going to be going for, and it's not going to matter really if Eric's going to rush him or not. He's going to go for that strategy that he's practiced, he's prepped, and generally speaking, in these sort of tournament settings, with the exception of Recon on Curl Alga against the Mister, you don't cook up a strategy in the middle of a $10,000 plus tournament and just to see if it works. Maybe sometimes you do, but yeah,
Recon's a unique breed.
Recon will do whatever he wants. He's just like, yeah, I think Ares sounds good. Let's go for that. But yeah. Oh dear. I mean, we could talk a little bit about some of the other gods in this draft here, Maiden. Is there something that's sticking out for you for Eric that just looks like really, really exciting? Like, who's going to grab that god?
Silence. No, I don't know. No, there's no Egyptian chosen for. Oh, El Matador has Ra. I was gonna say there's no Eggy for anybody. It's a best of 5, so we're gonna. Ooh, speaking of a best of 5, we do have Bamboo Grove, which is cool. One of the new new maps, so that's nice to shake things up. Hopefully those
I'm
guys
a fan
go
of
on
this
that.
map. Yeah, it's a good map. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, Anatolia, Alfheim, and Ghost Lake. Wah, wah. Those things are. We've seen those once or twice before. So anyway, aside from god picks, I'm looking at the gods in addition to the actual maps. Like, what if we do see Egyptian? If we do see Ra, where's he gonna bust it out on?
Well, I mean, the Ra.
We're
about to jump into the game, so we'll talk about it a little bit later. There are some good maps here for all of the gods in this pool, but we're going to be jumping in the Ghost Lake here. First game here. It's best of 5 situation, mate. In the bottom of the map, we have El Matador playing for the NOC team now. He's got that Thor dropping down the Dwarven Armory as well. In the top of the map, Eric He's already placed his Peach Blossom Spring at the top. He's playing Fushi, and he is off to the races already here. Maiden, what are you saying?
First things first, 2 gold mines. Second things second, armory already up for Thor. I know we're looking at Eric right now, but we already have the armory up for Thor. So there goes Copper Shield. So we know exactly what's happening this game, and we know that So what I want to look at real quick, Vodka, is the aggressive potential here for the Pioneer. We'll get a look at goats here in a second, but there's a lot of starting hunt. Yes, a lot of starting hunt. It is on the front side of El Matador's base, but he should be able to pull in those Aurochs, no problemo. His food should be secure for quite some time. Sure, there's some exterior food as well. Gold mines, though. That gold mine he's on right now, it's okay. And then the backside gold mine, yeah, defensible. I think that this is a pretty decent map for El Matador. It definitely could be worse, I guess, assuming we're going to get Pioneer aggression. Yeah?
Well, yeah, I mean, this is the interesting thing here. We were talking about it as if it's a 1 gold mine or a 2 gold mine Ghost Lake. In a sense, if it spawns with, I mean, it's going to always spawn with these aggressive animals, the Aurochs, the boars. You're not going to be able to get any damage early game, really early game, on the food because it's going to be underneath the town center. You can't get in and raid that. The gold mine is kind of there, but yep, just retreat back onto the other gold mine, no problems. Where you potentially could get a little bit of damage, and this is going to come down to building positioning here from El Matador to defend against this. Very simple to do so, in my opinion, with this map layout. We see the temple coming down for Eric, but El Matador, the position to attack is going to be the wood line. But I don't think that there is access to that left wood line easily. Drop a temple there, and it's going to be very safe wood chopping for those Norsemen. But we do see a fast advance time for Eric. He's going to Chi Yo, and that means that Yatsu are going to be coming.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, I apologize in advance for potential, excitement over the special attack. It is what it is. It's exciting to watch. Okay, forgive me. Hopefully,
be excited for
honestly.
it. The more teleport shenanigans, the better.
Yeah, it depends on who you're rooting for, I suppose. A pair of golden lions, that's going to help bigly.
Yes. And that god power is always good for the early game. It's just great. Either helps pressure or helps defend, and yeah, always. As I say, god power, relic. It's a god power.
Yeah. A relic that gives you a god power?
Basically, I mean, well, think about it. If you've got Fey Beast, and that gives you kind of like 6 kind of lion-esque foods, and then you get a relic that gives you 2 lions. I mean, surely that's god power worthy.
Can't deny that. And we see the aggression, the lions, the Yatsus, the pioneers. Oh my. Everything making its way over. Is he advancing just yet? Yes, about a third of the way up to Forsetti. No surprise there. Really safe food. The chickens are a bit exposed, but really safe food. Let's see what Eric can find. How's this scouting, Vodka? Can we just do a quick little peekaroo at his scouting? Nice.
Because hasn't really seen a whole lot, has he? He's coming to the wrong side of this space. He will be able to snipe a little bit of... he gets a villager on the left side, though. That's a really nice start here for Eric. Nice. And as well as a whole bunch of idle time, Maiden.
Is it going to get stuck? No.
Need damage on the next stage. There's one smack. Damage and gets out of there as the healing spring to come down. Behind this, what's Eric doing? Is he's not dropping a town center. He's actually got himself the Imperial Academy, so he's getting out that Nejar. He's going to have himself that really powerful hero, plus going to keep spamming these pioneers out. He's just going all out on this aggression.
Yeah, buddy. I like it. I don't know if it's on paper. I don't know if it's the best idea just because of the, all the food in the base, all the gold mines in the base, safe wood, blah, blah, blah. But by all means, he's advanced so much earlier, already got that Vil kill. He can maybe start to, get some kind of some snowball momentum going, maybe.
Boy, dropping that troll is kind of he's not really going to be doing much against all the hero spam coming through, but you never want to be losing units like that. As the Yatset, I'm going to go with Yatset. I think that might be closer. Coming through. The best way to sort of
Okay.
deal with this one is to sort of just turn around with your dwarves and then shank it while you've got Ursa in there. Because you can get it, you can just
Mm,
catch it out of position and get it stuck.
yes. Oh, dude, that wall not getting completed is kind of brutal. He should maybe just swap over onto that other gold mine, honestly, and leave that one alone.
It looks like he's going over there now as the dwarves are going to be having to come onto the berries instead of the chickens. So some serious damage has happened here as, as he gets a little dash away. Got a sliver of HP remaining. It looks like potentially here El Matador is held on from this early aggression.
Is he going to save it?
It's down. I guess
Hopefully
the
Eric
question
gets
right
another one
now,
out.
mate, I think the question right now has to be, can you just go berserks against pioneers, especially Fushi pioneers with the divine damage, with the bonus HP and everything that's going to come through? I mean, can that work? I don't know. I haven't seen it before. We're both going to find out.
Is that what he's going for? I haven't even paid attention to the buildings that he has in his base. Is he going for, well, there's the berserks. There we go.
That's the berserks. He's got Hall of Fence coming through. They're going to be speedy. The pioneer did get hit with the smallest of nerfs onto speed. So instead of 4.3 speed, they're now 4.0 speed. But that's kind of a big deal when you're now 5.2, 5.3 speed berserks.
Mhm.
That's some pain coming for you if you get caught out of position.
Very true. He needs numbers, in all sincerity, to really catch the pioneers out and do damage. But rather, there is an opportunity to hit the economy, which is what Matador's going for. It looks like he's maybe going to catch something on that top side. The berry pickers.
Yeah, this is going to be a nice little raid. Looks like he catches one villager out. He's not going to be greedy and go after all of them. Just takes one and says, "All right, we're out of here. That's good damage." Going to swing around and try and get back onto them there. He's going to maybe get another one there. Yes, he does. Eric too greedy with the return onto the berries. And does he get out without losing a berserk? Yes, he does. He can actually get another villager kill.
Oh, no way! That is so huge. Does he get...
He does. Oh my god! We're just like we're not even making any noises or any commentary. It's like, is he getting it? He gets, that was some sick damage there from El Matador as Eric. I think all of that early game advantage that he cooked up from the early pioneer aggression is gone.
Yes. Well, but look at the Vil numbers, right? It's 34-33. So the early Vil kills that Eric got put him ahead, but now El Matador got a couple of Vil picks back, and so they're on equal standing, equal footing in terms of Vil numbers for the most part. But the thing is, boy, is that mitigates the armory advantage of Thor, right? He should be ahead by 3-4 villagers at this point in time, but you know he's only ahead by like a half, kind of.
Yeah. Well, they're going to be seeing the heroic age coming in, so I guess Eric did get punished a little bit here from this kind of, I would say, semi-greedy heroic age grab. Like if your opponent's spamming units and you just go, I'm going to stop building units and I'm going to go to the heroic age, just take some damage, and he did, but he does get that Golmang out, so that's going to give him a little bit of something to work with moving forward. And I think the big unit that he can get to deal with all these berserks is the Shuko Nu. This is a really big one in the heroic age from Sheen Workshop, I believe it's called. And it kills berserks off like nothing. So good.
They're little machine guns, dude. Little medieval machine guns, that's for sure.
Right. These raids here from El Matador, he's showing up. He's kind of styling a little bit here. He's got the double groups, but still got to be careful. He can't be throwing away units. Eric does manage to pick off one berserk.
Yeah, I think at this point in time, he got that initial damage, the 4 or whatever Vil kills. But I think that Eric has enough defense here that El Matador, he can't be diving for Vils just right now. There's too much defense. Maybe if you mix in like the whole army, oh yeah, you can definitely dive a hunt patch or something like that as he's trying to sneak in and not quite find anything. He needs to be really careful not to lose these berserks though, man. Really careful.
Yeah, the other thing is right now, Eric, he's hit the heroic age and he decides to jump onto the Peach Blossom. So I'm not sure. I think he's getting gold from it. Maybe he's getting. I think it's gold. Can you click on the thing? Yeah, he's getting a whole bunch of really quick gold in. This could be to try and shoot straight to the Mythic Age, but he does have to get out that ballet straight away.
But he
Which
needs gold for it. Look at his eco, dude. Look at his eco. He's got the food. There's the ballet.
He's going to try and go for it. This is really risky because flaming weapons, a whole bunch of berserks running in here. If you get the ballet up, you drop forest protection. Maybe it's going to be enough, but still, you're really risking a lot of damage to come through. We'll see if he can make it happen. As the Qualifiers just having to run away, but he's losing. Like, you're right. El Matador is charging in, trying to get this damage done, and he's just losing unit.
Yeah. I think the time for, by all means, he can keep poking and prodding and find damage where he can. But you know, if you try and force it too hard, his berserk's going to be too low HP. If he actually takes a legit engagement, his army is just going to be toast, even with the flaming weapons. How well? Speaking of flaming weapons, how well does what's it called? What's it called? The little, as he's trying to push in here, maybe. What's the little lightning zap weapons thing called? The second god power.
Literally lightning weapon.
Okay, there we go. How well does that do fighting against flaming weapons?
Okay, so lightning weapons doesn't affect hero units, so pioneers don't get anything for it. So it actually does nothing at the moment. I imagine that if you had a whole bunch of, say, ranged units, and you had like not pioneers but like archers or something, you could potentially stun up all of those units and then you just kill them all. They wouldn't do anything. It's flaming weapons boost the damage, and if they're stunned, they're not doing damage. But yeah, at the moment, it really doesn't do anything, as it doesn't have any units to use it. But we will be seeing Gong Gong to come through for the moment, as El Matador has to prepare for some pain coming his way.
Indeed. He's grabbing a town center. Is that a hill fort right there that he's popping up? Maybe thinking about, dude. It is a hill fort, but he's going for heavy infantry. I don't think he's looking at the Mythic Age anytime soon.
No, he's not. He's not. And the big deal here is that it's not just Great Flood that's coming for him. It's going to be the Qing Long, which is a water dragon, and that's hard. It's a flying myth unit with a lot of damage up front. Really quite difficult to deal with as Norse. You've got to get those Godi out. Now, luckily for El Matador, he is in the heroic age, but I don't actually think he's got that many great halls out. You do need a good handful of them to actually deal with it.
Does he have any great halls? It doesn't have any.
I don't think he does. There are 0.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. How much he's got 55. Eric's got 55 favor in the bank, 56 now. He can maybe get 1 or 2 additional dragons out, depending on how much those things cost. And
there's that damage. He does manage to dodge that, which is nice. But now the Great Flood coming into the main base here, as that's going to be a big amount of damage. Only killing off the houses here, though. This actually really isn't that bad in the grand scheme of things. He loses a whole bunch of houses. El Matador has to just retreat back, put them back down, and that was kind of underwhelming. I don't know if I don't know about you, Maiden. What do you reckon?
I think he has infantry all around the map. He can toss down a couple of houses in 2 seconds, as we just saw. And did he lost like maybe 2 villagers and some houses? Are you kidding me?
Look at the villager differential. This is actually really good now. El Matador, but he still needs to get a great haul up, and he has to sort of hold this next pressure that Eric is going to be putting onto him. But the thing is, El Matador's got flaming weapon.
Yes. The dragons are sick, but you know, your villagers are land units. Your villagers are land units, and there we go. Is he going to get surrounded? He uses the little lightning weapons, and it doesn't do anything, Boyd.
He doesn't do anything. I don't think it does anything at all, actually. I think it's literally just there for show at the moment.
It's not even showing anything, but this isn't even bad. El Matador, half of his army is kind of across the map. And okay, fine, he deletes this army, but still, that was not too shabby. Eric did a lot of damage whilst taking damage, but he also killed a lot of units, man.
Yeah, but these berserks are coming in. They're finding a whole bunch of peasants here. He does notice it. There he goes. And a whole bunch of the villagers now retreating at the moment, but it looks like they're all going to go down there. El Matador gets the damage done, and this is starting to look like it's the first Mythic here. A timing attack from Eric has not been what he hoped. I think El Matador is completely fine here.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I think a little bit of a Great Flood nerf. Maybe Eric was practicing on the old patch. Oh, and so the Great Flood not quite as impactful as he maybe expected, possibly, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know.
This forest protection thing is pretty strong. I don't think El Matador can really risk walking in here anymore. He's got to pull back, but you have to be concerned for El Matador against these dragons. These things are still really, really strong. We do have some Goaty to come out. And the other thing here is, just after what we saw in that last fight, flaming weapons versus the Pioneers, kind of felt to me, and maybe, I mean, we're seeing the Huskarl coming out, so it's not going to be a problem anymore, but kind of felt to me like those Pioneers did really well against that Berserk army.
Yes.
With Huskarls, they're not. They're going to get absolutely mowed down. So Eric needs to start thinking about units not named Pioneer here to deal with those.
Yeah, let's see, what are the Dow Swordsman? Maybe go for some Dow Swordsman? Is that maybe an option for
Dow
him?
Swordsmen are great, yeah, to get the front line so that you get the damage actually gets to come through from those Pioneers. Makes some sense. Juko Nu, also not a terrible idea. More Qinglong as another idea.
Dragons.
Yeah, more dragons. Dragons are always good. When is it bad to build a dragon, Maiden?
I know. I actually just watched Game of Thrones for the first time, finished it about a month ago. So I'm big on dragons right now. Big fan of dragons.
Now, the one thing that I think is probably the most terrifying usage of these said dragons is raids. Because these things, on that initial damage, it's going to hit an entire gold mine. And it does... Actually, you tell me how much damage you reckon it does. It does pierce damage. I'll give you that much.
A lot.
Just say a number. Say a number. Say a number. Any number. It doesn't matter. You pick it.
420.
Okay, that's too much. It does 50 damage. 50 pierce damage. Which what that means is, with two of these dragons dropping that down onto a group of dwarves, you got to be super careful on those raids. There's a lot of really low HP dwarves here as well. But El Matador now, 3 town centers against 1 town center. He is pulling so far in front. He's got himself 200 population. He can probably go to the Mythic Age now as well.
Whoa. Why is Eric at 40 villagers? Has he really lost that many freaking villagers?
Yes, he has. Yeah, these raids have been brutal. Like, El Matador has been all over him in this game.
Wow. And he doesn't... Dude. He's going to get gold starved, man. He's going to get gold starved. His dragons can maybe win him some fights, but what are the gold options as we see a pretty decent fight here for Eric, honestly, since Matador wanted to finish up that hill fort. Yeah, Eric needs to find himself a gold mine.
Yeah, this is so nice. These raids are so brutal. He just keeps on going after the main base, keeps on going after those fields. I don't even know if Eric's got a gold mine. Is he gold starved?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Oh,
he's got a little bit of gold left. Yeah, it's almost out for him.
But wait. The dragons cost wood, don't they?
They do cost wood, yes.
Ooh. Gold maybe not so important anymore, huh?
Maybe not, but I think El Matador just kind of needs to turn around and take a fight. He's got the army. He just needs to go and kill. But it looks like he's just happily killing off villagers. He's like, I am going to make your life as miserable as possible. As long as that damage coming down, all those Huskarl was so low, and that forest protection got out. It had no HP left. Qinglong manages to finish off a whole bunch of them as the Huskarl now charging forward. There's not that many of them. These Pioneers with divine damage should be able to get through these not too bad.
Yeah. I think El Matador has an option here, a possibility to close out this game with the gold starve. I think that the rating has been extra, especially effective, but we can see that the earth, flower, wood, vines. What does it? Help me out, Boyd. What's it called?
Forest protection.
The forest protection. Forest protection is kind of doing a good job countering the raids. So I think he needs to pause the raids. The raids have already been effective. Step 2, or what's next? What's next is to officially get the gold star and address the big problem of the
Just attack.
dragons.
Just kill the dragons. God, I've just missed his opportunity there. He probably could have killed off a bunch of the berserks. Just continue to come back and hit this wood line. Eric needs to get it to a different wood line, I think, or some walls up or something.
35 villagers to 100. Are you Oh, you see what I'm saying? If there was a dragon there, man.
We've seen the patented El Matador side build shenanigans with Thor. We saw this a lot in that captain's draft team game tournament, but yeah, in a 1v1, it's just as effective and maybe even more brutal sometimes.
Yes. Dude, look at the economy of El Matador. He is just flying like a kite, man. He's up through tier. I want him to take town centers and just close this game out. Because he's just, the thing is, go ahead.
I was gonna say he's saving the gold for next game. I mean, he's got 100 villages, like 100 versus 38. So like, and his full population. Where else is his economy going? He's got to get to the Mythic age. It's just sitting there. He's finally clicked up. He's going through tier 4 to 5 towns, and it's all now coming in. I mean, to be honest, I feel like El Matador is playing with his food a little bit here.
Yes.
He is so obscenely far in front of this game.
But there's a big but. It's a big dragon but. Those special attacks can do wonders, man.
Can they build a wonder?
Go for a wonder with the dragons. They can defend a wonder. Maybe the Qualifier can rush them up. But those dragons, man, they can delete armies. He's got, what, 3 of them? Is that 3, 4, 3?
Yeah,
3 of them?
There's three. You gotta be so careful.
They can delete armies. Indeed.
One trick you can do though, and this is the same for against Noir with that Pagoda thing with the hero. You can stun a whole bunch of units. Anyways, if you send 1 unit forward, you see the dragon somewhere. Send 1 unit forward, and your opponent who's using that ability on autocast will, unfortunately for them, or if you use that ability on that 1 unit, he snipes 1. Yes, 1 for the good guys. But
good guys.
Who are the good guys here? The Norsemen or the Chinese? I'm not sure.
The Norsemen, of course.
with you here, it's always the Norsemen.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, you can bait out that special ability and then take the fight. It's a 20-second cooldown. It might even be more. So yeah, you can get a lot done here. It's a Huskarl to come through, cleaning up all of these pioneers.
Dude, the heavy infantry really showing a lot of success. Oh, there's Fimbulwinter. Is this going to be the game? Maybe? 41 villagers, 42.
Well, I mean, if you only really got 40 villages, then what's only 40 villages being idled for 30 seconds? As opposed to 100 villages being idled for 30 seconds, you know?
That's brutal. But only 40? Yeah, it's no problem.
No, it's no problem.
If you don't think about it, it makes sense.
So there's the quote.
I think Boyd thought about it. Boyd thought about it. Okay. I'll tell you what Eric is thinking about. He's thinking about getting some water action on those heavy infantry. Ooh! Get the kills, Vodka! Get the kills! The hill fort's going down, but the kills! Still so much army, so much population for El Matador. He doesn't really care about a little death here and there. He just needs to, throw Goaty at this dragon.
Yeah, well, this is the hard part, right? The water dragon got 5.3 speed, Maiden.
Yeah.
Goaty have got like 4 speed or 4.3 speed or something. They're very, very slow. So getting in to catch them out is one thing, but chasing them down is another thing. As Eric here does lose 1. More units coming in to try and take out those pioneers here as El Matador does decide, okay, it's time to let's just take this fight. Let's just kill off a bunch of dudes here and see what happens.
It's time. It is time. It is time.
This game here, I think this was just we talked about it in the early stages, right? El Matador, he was just kind of multitasking everywhere throughout this entire game. His RTS skill really shone through here, getting huge value, picking off villages. Can we click on the military tab here? I want to see how many villagers were killed in this game, because that's going to be interesting. 46 to 36. that's a crazy amount of villagers for both players killed here. But
Yeah.
Matador had 3,000
Actually,
villagers, right?
okay. Whoa. No. Stay here, vodka. Villagers killed 46 to 36. That's crazy on both sides, like you said. But look
Yeah.
at the units killed 90 compared to 158. Eric was killing units like crazy, but the Thor economy, 2 TC Thor economy, so much stronger. He could just keep pumping them like it's hot, man.
The favorite
Yeah.
unit for Eric was a lion. I just want to put that out there. Just a lion. It was obviously a pioneer, but come on. Let's go on now.
Well, but it was well played by Matador, man. I think it was well
Yeah.
played. It was well played by Eric too, but his Great Flood did not. It almost got no value. Almost.
Yeah. Yeah. We saw this is the start of the game. This is where things already were going well for Eric at the start. But this is where El Matador sort of snatched the game back into his favor. He's pushing around, getting these villager kills. Eric, he did the thing where we see this quite a lot. Like players kind of go, okay, we got a little bit of damage. Let's go to the heroic. And that can work. This is the Great Flood. Maybe it killed. I don't even think it killed off 2 villages. It didn't kill off any villages here. It just killed off like 7 houses. So um, hashtag balanced in the chat. As as with big flaming weapons. This was the interesting one here. Maybe I'm wrong on this. Maybe it boosts the pioneer's damage. It definitely you don't stun anything with it. But it doesn't say anything in the description. So
Well, hang on. Well, boy. So what happened here is that so many of the Ulfsarks were focused on the
yeah.
Tao Tie thingy. Plus, he converted a couple of the battle boars. So a lot of the human units from El Matador were focused on killing myth units rather than the pioneers. So the pioneers were just free to kill for quite some time.
Yeah, yeah. Well, nonetheless, I think El Matador played around all of this power of China really well. Like kind of
Yeah.
slow pioneers 4.0 speed couldn't really catch up to all of the units. I think maybe Eric needed to think about getting the walls up really to deal with all of those raids because otherwise it's keep coming in. But Maiden, it's the next game. We're going in onto it. Bamboo Grove, Gaia, Shinong. So, I mean, Bamboo Grove does look like it has the potential to be a really, really defensive map, which is potentially why we're seeing the Gaia and the Shinong. So Shinong has this late game power inside of him with access to, I'm going to get this wrong. I believe it's Rusho and I'm definitely not Rusho. No, I think it's Rusho and Huangdi. You go those 2 gods, your human units become insanely powerful. So the late game is going to be in the Shinong's favor. But Gaia is the economic powerhouse we know and love, and that is just going to get shoved straight down the center of this map and just being very, very tough to defend. So it's going to be.
But wait.
Okay,
But wait. You say that this seems like a very defensive map. Why do you say that?
Because the resources are all around the outside, and one wall can make it quite challenging to get in onto those resources. You can get into the main base, no problems, but if there's no resources there, do you really care? Like you want to be getting onto the economy, where that's all on the outside. A little bit of walling. I don't know. Maybe I'm
Touche.
wrong. I could be wrong. I mean, I'm just a dude with I'm just a dude.
Indeed. Me too. That's fair. I mean, that's fair. I don't know if Shenong, you can do. How well do how well do those things do against citizens? I know 2 of them with a special can one-shot villager. What about a citizen? It's got to be.
I'm not exactly sure, but I imagine like 4 is going to do the trick, right? Like the citizen that got double the HP, you just double the dude arenas. Maybe it's 5. But anyways, like if you jump in and you do the damage, right, then you do an auto attack and then it's dead anyways. So catch it out.
Do you think that's maybe what we could possibly see? What do you? To me, it seems like against Gaia, it's usually the impetus is typically on the opponent to try and make something happen against Gaia. Otherwise, the
Mm.
economy is just gonna be explosive, and it's gonna turn into a powerhouse, like you said. So what does Shenong do against that? Some yace action, something else. Match the boom with some earth walls. What do you think?
Well,
I
yeah,
hope we see the yace. They're fun to. It's fun to say and fun to watch.
okay, I'm going to put myself into the EricBR mindset right now.
Me
I
too.
think he is going to go for Altu. I think he's going to go for the Earth Wall. I think he's going to go for a fast second town center here and just try and rush to Huang Di as fast as he can. Use that dragon to keep himself alive against the big all in, maybe a 2 town center all in from El Matador. Potentially even see Ria as a crazy thing from the Gaia side of things. It's not allowed to happen, but nonetheless, does that, holds on, then gets to the big power units, starts pushing. That would be my guess, but I'm not sure that that's what maybe the best way to go for. But yeah, definitely going to be some sort of some sort of an aim towards those super strong Dao swordsmen sort of angle on the Shenong side. How he gets there, that's the question. But that's got to be that.
It's tough because we got about a minute before we jump into the game. It's tough. It's tough and it's exciting and fun at the same time. China's still so new. I don't know if we've really figured things out. Like we see Gerbot in chat talking about Dao Swordsman. We see Mini Yeti talking about 1TC for Gaia, going 1TC Lido, which is a little
Yeah.
insane indeed. The door is pretty wide open.
Well, made why
honestly.
why might Mini Yeti be saying Gaia Lito 1 town center is insane into China? Not insane as in bad and crazy. Insane as in really good.
Is
So
yeah,
the automaton have got high pierce armor, which means the pioneers
true.
struggle to kill them. And while they do
True.
have bonus damage, it's going to be harder to kill them off. So then you also get out Terma, the Terma
Yes.
automaton. Terma kill off the pioneer, automaton kill off everything else, and you laugh. So yeah, it is quite
You're
literally
laughing, mate.
insane to do it. Let's but we're going to be finding out exactly what these players are going to go for here. Jumping into game number 2 in the left-hand corner of the map in the red color, playing as Gaia. His name is El Matador. EricBR in the blue color, playing Shenong.
So, but I really like that idea that you're talking about, boy. That Mini Yeti shouted out. 1TC Lido. We saw Rappel hosted a show match between Ulysses and, as we see, the beautiful bamboo on this China map. the Lido automaton spam with Terma as backup could be so sick. I believe Tunison used it to great effect against our beloved Ulysses. So I think that's very, very viable for him, honestly. I was saying I was thinking Eric maybe liking some, he's a bit of a Greek player, so liking that early pressure with free myth unit and heroes, maybe that, going for early pioneers, some early pioneer aggression into some town center action, kind of is up his alley, so to speak. So he can maybe get the jump on Matador before something like that comes in, before a second town center comes in, before some automaton numbers comes in. I think there's some possibility there for him, honestly, on the China side of things. But eventually, yeah, I think there's 1 or 2 TC options, very good options for El Matador on the guy side. Has he practiced it?
I do wonder if like the answer for China against these automaton spammage would be to just rush heroic age to get out the sages. You also have that other, I can't remember the name of the unit, but there's another hero in the heroic age which deals divine damage as well as lowers the damage output of all myth units in the area of that unit. So you can go for that as well.
I think that's possible. That might be too greedy, though. He has the
Might
Earth
be.
Wall, actually.
Yes,
He
he
might
does
have
have
the
the
Earth Wall, but if he doesn't use Earth Wall, trying to get to the heroic age at a good time, that might be too greedy. I think that might open a timing for El Matador. But let's see. He might go slow in 2 TCs, slow eco, that sort of thing. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I mean, El Matador, he does have his own style, right? And he's actually deciding to go through Leto, which, to be honest, I'm a little bit surprised. I was going to go on this tangent. I don't need to anymore, but he does have his
Mm.
style, and every time I've seen him playing Gaia, it's been Oceanus Thayer and Go. But we're going to be seeing the Leto. I think this is going to be a really good idea. Eric, however, I'm sure that he is come up against this in his scrims. He's going to know what's coming for him. These are the types of strategies that, I mean, Tunison literally did it in a game, and they were on the same team for a long time there. So I imagine that they know this, and there's going to be some sort of a defense here for Eric. At least something that he's cooked up against. Something he's cooked up to deal with this.
Cooked
Up. Yes, like in the
Cooked
kitchen,
up.
you got to cook up the, what, the dishes. Never mind.
You gotta cook them up while you're laughing, mate. Right?
Can we just get into that British accent again? Is that what happened?
I don't know. I try so hard, boy. I try to be Australian. I try. Okay, anyways. Okay, so there's our automaton. We see double counter barracks coming up for El Matador. So let's see, what about the oracle numbers? He's got 3 oracle numbers gaining favor so far. Is that enough for an automaton spam? I don't know. He might want to. A 4th one just popped out, so he's popping.
She's definitely popping. I don't really know how many you need. Depends on how many automatons you want to make, right? Like, if you've just got 4, then you probably can only make 1 every, I don't know, 30, or not 30 seconds, maybe like every 20 seconds, 25 seconds, 1 every 25 seconds ish. If you get a couple more, you can start maybe thinking about dropping in another temple and then getting even more out. As the automatons here taking a little bit of damage, but they're just going to heal themselves back up. This is not damage that is permanent at all, but it's neither permanent for Eric, as he's going to pull back into his main base onto favored land.
Oh, that's so cute. Oh. They're just nailing each other back together.
They're just nailing each other back. Yeah, that's right. Well, we see Eric. He's going for a town center maiden. So he kind of knows what's coming his way, but he says town center time. As a little bit of thermal damage going to come through. I'm not sure this is going to be enough. Maybe it will.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, man. This is what Ulysses did against Tunison in that matchup that I was like referring that Rappel hosted, and dude, it did not work at all. It did not work at all. So maybe Eric can execute differently, as he maybe almost gets a kill. Anyway, maybe Eric can execute differently, but with what Ulysses was able to put together, it did not work out at all for him. Let's see.
I wonder how fast those halberdier are. Maybe it's worth it to go for some of those, because these Terma, they're only moving at 5.2 speed? I can't remember. 5.0 speed? I can't remember. But maybe the halberdier are the answer, because they can catch up and they get onto the Terma, they just kill them off. But nonetheless, there's still this Earth War God power that Eric not dropping. He's just saying, okay, come into my base. We'll just hang out with you for a little bit longer, and maybe we'll drop it a little bit later.
Yeah, he doesn't with the 2 town centers. Maybe, dude, he's on 2 town centers. The Vil numbers are still super close. Boom, Vil pick. What building is that, real quick, Vodka? Could you click that unbuilt building for us? See what it is. Boom, it's a military camp. What do you make out of a military camp?
You can get the Wuzu Javelin here potentially. Count like the Peltast, the Speedy Peltast. Or you can get the Halberdier, or you can get the Dow Swords.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Now, I guess
very aggressive citizens.
Yeah, the interesting thing next here is, well, El Matter, he's just 1 town into full send here. So Eric, his entire plan, his entire way to win this game is going to be hold whatever big push comes, mitigate all the damage that comes through, hold the big push, and then he should be able to come out with a victory here. So the question is, how does he hold the big push?
Yes. What does the big push look like, though? I see 3 automatons. Does he not have very big? Oh, dude.
Maiden.
Yes.
We've been seeing some raids happening off screen here.
Yeah.
Eric has picked off 2 oracles already with this Cheong Chi.
Yes, exactly.
So this means automaton numbers are going to struggle here.
That's another one maybe going down as well. He might be down to 2 or 1. No, he's gonna go for the hero, the citizen
He's not even paying attention.
instead.
He's the one citizen down.
Oh my god, no way.
We do see a town center getting dropped, but El Matador too focused on the Terma here. This is, I guess, this is the big weakness of any sort of micro-intensive unit is one little raid here, 2 citizen kills, and the Oracle's going to get chased away. We'll be able to garrison into the manor, and then the villager comes through. Now Eric's not paying attention, and he's going to be having that one get picked off. So damage dealt, damage taken. I'd say Eric comes out on top on that one, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, yes, dude. Look at, I mean, yes, absolutely. And now, by all means, there's still a lot of favor left over, 36 favor, but he doesn't have automatons, man. So that big push, he's got what, 4 automatons and only 2 witchmabobbers gathering favor right now. The big push is okay. Fine, he's got 5 now, but the big push isn't quite there, man. He needs like double the automaton numbers to have that big push. I don't know if El Matador has it.
Well. Town Center will come up on the back for El Matador. He's kind of close on population for civilian units. I'm really not sure what the difference is between the Atlantean civilians units versus the Chinese civilian units. So I don't know how much of a difference this is really going to be, but Matador needs damage. He needs damage soon. But also Eric needs an answer to Terma and to Automaton.
Yeah, I mean, El Matador might not quite have like a lot of automaton numbers for a kill, but that doesn't necessarily mean that Eric really has a good answer for it at the same time.
I'm going to go ahead and take a guess. We are seeing some Javelineers coming out, but when you just, if you get to the heroic age, drop a ballet and then make yourself some of those cavalry, you can put an end to this pretty swiftly, I think.
That sounds like a lot of investment. I agree. It sounds like a lot of investment, though.
It is, yeah.
You maybe open yourself up to a little automaton pressure.
Yeah, this is actually so cool with what El Matador's done moving forward with this economic guild. He now gets himself like a little bit of health on the front line. I wouldn't mind seeing another economic guild just getting put right into like basically the main base here of Eric to keep this going on.
I agree. Why not? I'm digging it, actually. I'm digging it.
Well, at the moment now we see a huge amount of villagers getting swapped over onto food for Eric. He's got all the gold in the world here, but he needs that food to get to the next stage. He wants to go there. Tao Wu. This guy's so sick. I love him. I just think he's the sickest unit. You just kind of click the ability and you just kind of run in and just knock the units all around. It's kind of just, it's just fun to use.
Indeed. Cool myth units for China in general, as we maybe get a couple of Vil picks. A couple of Vil picks, peasant picks rather.
Yeah. These villager kills are really keeping, and they're only keeping El Matador in this game. They're actually putting him into positions where he's going to be able to get a huge value. That Wu comes forward. El Matador going to start the kiting shenanigans here. Them aren't the best kiters anymore, but the slow units here of China are going to struggle to catch up to them.
Go for a Kaofu. Quafu. Boy, you were talking about that picking off that Quafu is sick. You were talking about like the economic difference between the Atlantean citizens and the Chinese peasants. A normal Chinese peasant is a little bit. Ooh, we might see some peasants going down. Essentially, you need those Quafu, and there's the wall, dude.
There's the wall and the Fey Beasts trying to catch these out here. This is such a sick usage. All these Turbo are going to get nailed in this position. You can't escape. And he does manage to pull out, but all of the Turbo are down, mated.
Oh boy. Oh really boy. That hurt, man. All of his Turbo numbers have just completely vanished. And look at the Vil numbers. The Vil numbers are basically equal. He still has, a lot of that earth wall left over. He's walled on the left side, and now Eric has a nice little initiative here. Rappel's calling the GG. Same with Mini Yeti. Hold your horses, gentlemen. This game still has plenty of life in it. We have Heroic coming up for Matador as well. Go ahead, boy.
That's right. You're right. Rhea. We're not actually going to even see the Thea shenanigans here. It's straight for Rhea. We're still seeing Terma coming through. This villager differential is equal. So yeah, whole bunch of dudes just died for El Matador, but the game continues here. And there's going to be a trader to steal away potentially that Tao Wu, and then you can potentially use that special ability to knock all those units up, come through with the Terma, and then cause some problems back in onto EricBR in this game. Now, Eric probably, no, he's got himself out the ballet and everything, but he's spamming the units. And he looks like he kind of wants to go Mythic Age, but I'm not sure he's going to be able to get there.
He needs to, if he does want to get there, he's got to pause. He's got to pause his production, and he has paused his unit production, a military unit production. If you're looking at the queue, he might be trying to go there, man.
Yeah, this is the next move. He wants to get another god power to deal with all these Terma. Like, how else is he going to kill them off?
Yeah.
The Javelin here will decide to turn around. This is actually not a bad trade for either player. They're both units countering each other. But Eric decides to pull back El Matador as well.
Is that Huang Di coming in? I see a click. I see a click. I see the resources down.
Yeah. This is going to be Mythic Age, and it will be Zhurong.
Zhurong.
So Blazing Prairie to kill off the entirety of that main base here where all the buildings are. I'm not exactly sure how El Matador has spread his buildings. Generally, I mean, with Gaia, you want to put kind of manners all over the place to spread out the lush, so you're not going to get trapped too much by god powers like Great Flood or Blazing Prairie. See the trader comes through. You can manually click that ability to run away.
Oh no.
He's gonna lose it. That was sad.
Looks pretty cool in the red color though, so that's nice.
That's true. Beyond this, we see a Horns of Consecration coming through, Maiden.
What's
Correct
that?
me if I'm wrong, but is this technology was reworked recently? I believe it gives access to fanatics now in the heroic game.
Ah, that is new. Ah. Dude, I don't know if I've ever really... Has anybody really utilized that in the past?
Probably. We've mostly just been seeing everyone playing China since it released, so a lot of these kind of new changes still kind of in the pipelines. We're going to see it now, I guess. So some fanatics going to be coming through fairly shortly.
Interesting. Fanatics could be decent against this army composition. Against probably against Dao Swordsman, they could be pretty sick as well. Maybe looking at his resources, he could maybe. But that would, if he goes for this, that means he's going to be stuck in the heroic age for quite some time. He is up at the citizen limit basically, but he's going to be stuck there. And here comes the Blazing Prairie. Where is it?
It's the main base. You've got to run those villages. You can't run. It's very natural to run to the town center, but you want to run out of the fire. Otherwise, they're just going to spawn here and then die. I mean, you can run over onto the palace potentially here. All those buildings go down. There's so much damage now. Eric is getting right in onto this fight. There's no trader here for that Chinese Phoenix, as the question of whether or not he can actually hold this push remains. It looks like he's still got a hefty amount of military units in, but they are falling in numbers very, very quickly.
I think he's okay. I think he's okay. Eric already used his witchmabobber, his Fey Beast god power, so he doesn't have that same follow-up that he did against Zucht earlier. So he's got the nice position in the map now. He's got a forward town center, ballet, a forward as well. He did some good damage, but El Matador only lost, quote unquote, the town center and a couple of citizens. So I've seen worse, man. I've seen better. More damage. I think he's A-okay, and he can continue fighting, man. El Matador can.
I guess the other thing here is, Maiden, by not going through Huang Di, which you normally get the Ying, I think it's called a Yinglong, the dragon, the Earth Dragon, Lightning Earth Dragon. He's not going to have that super powerful late game we were talking about beforehand. So I actually think that El Matador's army here, once he gets to the Mythic Age, gets all his upgrades, it might be more powerful than this Shenong army. I'm not sure. I haven't seen it before, but one thing's for certain, he has to hold here against all this push. He does have the palace here to hold, so he's doing a good job of it. And there's no Chuko Nu for the moment, or Fire Archers. These infantry units are going to carry him through against those counter archer cavalry units. This has been a really, really good tech switch from El Matador, but Eric now going to get himself Chuko Nu out, and El Matador has to be a little bit more careful here. Retreating back, steals the Phoenix away.
Sick.
He's going to retreat off into the sunset.
Nice. Well, I'm just going to repeat. I think El Matador he's maybe not A-okay, but he's B-okay. He's okay, yes. Right? But he's only on one town center, Boyd. He is going up through, what's his face? Implode Boy. But he's got to get town centers, right? In order to match, you're talking about the late game army potential between Shenong versus versus Gaia in this specific situation. He's got to get his town centers back, man. I like how Eric has initiative on the map. So instead of pressuring the main base like he has been, I say go for this forward TC right here. You mentioned earlier when in another game, you take your advantage and you just build on that advantage. I don't know if going for this main base, that's like going for the throat, but the throat is protected by palaces and towers. He's got to, cut off an arm or something like that over on that forward TC and just gain another advantage rather than trying to go for that throat, maybe preemptively.
And those spider legs just got so much value. These are the most expensive. I think they might be more expensive than an elephant. Can we see the cost in this unit? An elephant is like, what is it again?
Oh,
it's not quite the cost of an elephant. The second most expensive human unit in the game, and they just died to those spider layers in one go there. But yeah, the thing here is El Matador, he's got that god power coming, and while Eric's going to have a really strong army, he's going to lose a lot of it to implode.
Yep. Oh yeah. All those archers. Oh my goodness, dude. How much time does he have left? He probably has 20 seconds left before implode's coming in. What are these things called? Tiger Cavalry? Yeah, Tiger Cavalry.
Yeah. When they die, they come back as a very, very weak infantry unit. They've got kind of 2 lives to some degree. Like 50 something HP or something.
Yeah. Are we going to see it right away? Maybe. I don't know if he needs to use it right away. It would be valuable to just delete this army. He could go bigger, though.
And he's going to go for it. There he goes. He just says, I just need to survive here. The Tiger Cavalry are causing him pain elsewhere. The units are going to try and retreat away, and they're not going to be able to get away, not all of them. And a lot of population dropping here now. Eric.
He still is at a decent... He still has more population than El Matador, however, despite losing a whole bunch of army. He's still hitting more total population. So good on
Resources,
him.
Maiden. Resources are gigantic for El Matador. He's missing a house somewhere. 1 mana is down, so he has to get that back up. But all of those resources, they're going to go into some very powerful units. You've got Fnatic to come through, Destroyers, Arcus. I mean, what unit do you build here against China? There's probably no specific units you want to go for, but yeah, all of the units he's getting are making a lot of sense.
The Fanatics, they got to be good, right?
Yeah, they have to be. They're the primo unit for Atlantean.
Plus, he's got he already has at least 2, maybe 3 palaces up, so he can, if he's got to go for it, he can maybe go for some Fanatics.
Yep. But it's still going to be 3 town centers to 2 town centers at the moment. That's still the problem that El Matador has to overcome. Right now, he's at 190 pop. He's getting fortified town centers through. He's getting his Fnatic upgrade, so he's definitely going to have Devotees of Atlas, I believe it's called. He's going to make those very powerful as you see the units retreating away. The Alpha trying to grab the town center for himself. These Chuko Nu, however, are going to be making life very challenging for El Matador. El Matador needs to get some cavalry out here.
Yes. Midi in chat saying Arcus Contarius kills China. That is kind of a classic army composition these days, Contarius Arcus. So he just He just needs to get into it, man. He just needs to get into it. It looks like the population advantage is serving Eric well here. He may not have an ideal army composition. He has a good army composition, but just aside from that, then the army numbers are just keeping him in this game completely and allowing him to continue like push into the face of El Matador.
Yeah, you look at it's more than that, right? Like you look at the army resource value. That matters as well. 4.6 to 5.8. There's only like 8 population more, but it's over 1,000 more resource.
Very true. Well, he's about to be even further ahead in population as he's grabbing that town center. That thing's definitely going up.
And the other thing is, there's like a kind of a hidden ability inside of these Chinese Phoenix. When they use that ability, they give armor to all of their units. So if you use that really well, all your guys are going to stay alive for longer.
Okay. An extra little bonus for him, and we're just loving this little. What are they called again, Boyd? Jouke, kwe.
Yeah, something.
Come on, say it.
Zhuchie.
Okay, that sounded pretty good, actually. That's probably
Thanks,
right.
man. I'm guessing.
Well, okay, the game ain't over. I mean, we're talking about how, yes, Eric's in a good position, a really good position, 4 to 2 town centers. Game ain't over, though. If you look at the minimap, there's some nice positions that El Matador has around the sides, or he can maybe get some surprise attacks going. Are these citizens going down? Hello? Maybe not?
There's something strange happening there. They weren't really attacking. They were just kind of like screaming about stuff.
They're just trying to scare the citizens, scare the donkeys.
Yeah.
Almost worked. Almost.
But yeah, you're right. El Matador needs to get a town center back. He can't just keep staying on this 2 town center versus 4 town center situation and expect to carry himself through. But the problem for Eric right now is his gold income seems very, very low. And El Matador has now constructed a composition which is going to be able to kill off those Chukonu, which are very expensive as well. So Eric has to retreat back, and this might give El Matador the opening he needs to eventually get onto a town center and get himself an advantage or get himself back into this game.
Well, in order to get a town center, dude, he needs siege output. Like we see a couple of ballets. There's more. What's it called? Just buildings in general. He needs siege output, dude. Sure, his army can maybe fight against Eric's army, but man, those Zulche thingies are Zulche. Man, I gotta practice my Chinese. But regardless, they're doing a great job.
We'll be seeing one getting taken out, so that's nice. Eric seems to have held. His population is growing, and when you're on the 4. This is the same for every civ. When you're on the 4 versus 2 town center advantage, a lot of the times you want to keep on putting pressure on because you're like, I just want to end the game. But really, just sitting there and waiting for yourself to get to full population is your best bet. And we're kind of seeing Eric doing that. He's almost at full pop. And El Matador is going for raids now.
Oh, I guess that's a decent idea. Make sure he's not trading, hit some gold mines, mess up his economy, stop that. Ooh, that's a lot of our hero arcus. That's maybe an option.
It is.
It's gotta take effect quickly though, because slowly El Matador's alive, but he's getting pushed further back into his base. I don't know, boy.
Yeah, leaving his base and going for raids here. I mean, that's kind of one of the options you can do, and if you can get enough villager kills, it might be okay, but then he has to come back and kill off the army, like, straight away. If because you kill villagers, they're just going to get replaced with more units in that population that's missing. But Eric does drop down in quite a bit of population in that moment. In the same breath, so does El Matador.
Yep. We saw a little Batmobile taking out that left forward TC. So he's, like I said, man,
supply siphons are coming in.
Yes, he's El Matador's kind of got that Thor theme where he's built around the map. He's going the harassment style. It served him well in the Captain's Winter Draft. It served him well in that last Ghost game. I don't know if it's enough to serve him well in this game, but he's doing what he's got to do. Eric's doing a good job to stay in it and, you know, not just die, just keep pushing, keep the pressure. He's got to stay popped. I think he needs to do a little bit better job staying popped, but he's close to taking this game.
It just seems like it's difficult for him to stay there in terms of gold income. If he drops a market down, get some trade going on behind this, he's got all the food in the bank, there's no problems there. He can probably get himself the gold income he needs to keep himself top, but he hasn't really started a trade route at all. Whereas El Matador has, and there is always this thing that can happen in a game of Age of Mythologies. Now we see the market where you just run out of gold mines, and if you're not prepped with the trade route, you can just lose a game in that moment. Doesn't matter if you're 4 town centers, doesn't matter if you're 5 town centers. If you lose all your dudes and you don't have any gold, you can't make any dudes anymore.
Well, it's like think about back in the day when we used to see Ragnarok. You could have 5 town centers and, you know, and whatnot. But if you have if your opponent has 1 town center and is just controlling gold mines, then you basically beat the Ragnaroked player, if that makes sense. So
right.
Yeah, absolutely right. You know, by all means, he's got a little bit of gold in the bank. He's got a little bit of gold mine that he's able to mine right there. There we go. But it's on a timer, that's for sure. He's got to get that market action going sooner rather than later.
There is one more at the top side here. If El Matador can recognize this, and it's very hard. Obviously, we have omniscience as a casters. If he can recognize this and how important that gold mine is, that is his way back into this game.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, there's one other ridiculous idea, which is
I wonder
get yourself out all of your oracles and then work towards getting implode out. In the same breath, you'd see Blazing Prairie at the same time.
Yeah. Having said that, so we're talking about gold mines, we're talking about gold income, we're talking about trade caravans. Again, I'm going to repeat, the Thor style guerrilla harassment. You know, he can deny, El Matador can deny the trade route if Eric doesn't protect it sufficiently. So that's maybe a way back into this game. He needs to not die on this front. He needs to keep his own trade alive and whatnot, but just keep up the harassment and maybe go for that gold pressure.
El Matador is doing a great job of staying alive here. Let's say that much. He's going onto the back there as well, getting a side build, starting up a palace. They're going to be able to get some siege in, potentially break into the main base. He can't really stop the trade route, but he does stop the premium angle from the bottom corner to the town center there with that palace at the bottom. Mm-hmm. But nonetheless, El Matador is still very much kicking in this game. The things that he's missing here that he needs is iron weapons, iron mail. That's really hurting him in these fights.
True. Actually, dude, it's speaking of gold, it's not like El Matador's got a sick gold income. Sure, he's got trade, but dude, he's hurting for gold himself, so he's got to be careful. Shout out to KP with the big fat rate of 185. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Chinese carnage, which is awesome. Can Eric close it out before he runs out of gold himself? There goes a palace point. The Batmobile going down as well, probably. And I don't know. El Matador's got the score lead, but I don't know if he has the initiative lead. He doesn't quite have the map control. Is he going to hang in there? He doesn't see the situation that we see with Omniscience. I'm feeling something, boy. I'm feeling something.
Yeah, he's dropping on population here. He's lost that palace. It's big and open up the main town center. I'm not sure if Eric is aware of the palace and what's going on behind his base, but I'm not sure he's even going to care at this point. He just wants to kill that town center off. Does he have any siege out at the moment? Does Eric have the siege? See, EricBR, does EricBR have siege out? Looks like he doesn't. So there's still units are just going to keep popping out and defending here. And Eric's gold income is still not quite there. He is training 3 of these trade caravans out at a time, but the gold is about to expire. So he's going to drop down on gold income very soon as well.
Indeed. Is that going to be the comeback story? El Matador going for gold, trade route bringing him to victory. Possibly. Just looking at the general resources, both of their economies are struggling as they are just spamming and fighting and actioning and attacking and everything. Oh my. Fate Beasts!
Fate Beasts!
Oh dude, you're not gonna see this in AoE 4. Oh mama. If you're a big fan of Eric, you're loving it, dude. Look at all those citizens going down. Are you kidding
And
me?
El Matador's not even paying attention. This is huge. He didn't even react to it. He did steal away a Hundun here. This one's kind of cool, but losing all these villages, is this a bad thing? I don't actually know if it is, because this is like population he needs for military. So he drops down 20 civilian population. He's already got a trade route, so his economy is completely fine here.
I suppose, Boyd, that is a very fair point. That is a very fair point. Look at that weird
Look
potato.
at Eric's population. You look at his
Oh my.
population, Maiden. He's dropped down to 170. El Matador has now found himself the slightest of advantages. He's in the main base raiding with these Ontarians as well. He's all over the map. This is what makes El Matador so good at this game. It's just everywhere. He's everywhere at all moments. He's also raiding this, kill this town center, pushing back over here. Eric's now got himself plenty of gold in the bank, but he's got no food. He's got very little bit of wood here as well. He needs to get his units back out.
Dude, I can't even believe that this game is still going on. He can maybe Thor style his way to victory. It seems like Eric is maybe susceptible to this style. The chaotic style, there's too much going on. This AoE 2 influence from El Matador, his APM and that style of AoE 2, I think it's maybe serving him really well here. In both of these games, game 1 and now game 2, it seems like Eric's really struggling with this, dude. He can't quite keep everything straight around the map.
Yeah, and I mean, as soon as Eric loses the town center here, this is where things are going to get like very, very challenging, because then he's got no population left to play with.
Yes.
But he does have himself a very good trade route now. So.
Is it very good, or is it just he's got the numbers?
He's got the numbers. It's not a great like length. He's not in the good corner. He could send it
49.
across the map, but then he's going to be running straight into raids from El Matador.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at the very least, he has gold income coming through. But what El Matador needs, he's got to kill off this town center. He can get himself out of Fire Slash in there and start sieging it down. He's doing a good job of limiting the army numbers, but Eric seems to have kind of survived on this push back, this big push back from El Matador, and all of these sort of this chaos that was just caused seems to have calmed down just a little bit.
Yes, fair point. Fair point. Honestly, okay. Speaking of gold, just the economy in general, boy. So what? If you have like we saw 49 gold per caravan for El Matador, that's not good, dude. That's not good. And if I'm not mistaken, those Tiger Cavalry, they're heavy on food, but they're cheap on gold. I think they're only 50 gold as a cost. Yeah. That's not too shabby, dude. You can spam those fairly well with a poor trade route compared to like a Terrius. I can't remember the cost of Fanatics off the top of my head. Is it 70-50 or is that the cost of a Myrmidon? Maybe I'm mixing those two numbers up.
I think it's similar.
It is similar, right? Well, anyway.
I don't exactly remember.
Well, so that's an interesting little.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, El Matador, yeah, he has cut caravans. So he's not building caravans anymore. So his gold income's actually struggling a little bit. He's managed to kill the town center off though, Maiden.
Yes. Okay, so it's 3-2 rather than 4-2. Okay, so he's closer to equality in that manner. But still, this is so, dude. I think this is so interesting with a bad trade route. You know, which army cost is going to serve better, the China or that 55? 55. That Fanatics 55. That's close, man. That's not too shabby. Thank you for checking that out.
The siege is actually now kind of out. There's one of those crossbows, but this army for El Matador is back in onto this spot. Eric is kind of split up a little bit, and El Matador is pushing back yet again. Eric has to retreat back and regroup. Meanwhile, you just see on the minimap, look at all of these things going on. El Matador is attacking literally everywhere at all moments.
Come on, Vodka, keep up. Over there, he's over there. Now back in the front. We need picture in picture in picture in picture in picture at this point in time. But seriously, the town center's down. That's a big win for El Matador. Now he needs to keep it down, and you know the same, vice versa for Eric. He's got to get that sucker back up, man. He's got to get that thing back up. He's got to just slowly try and just cut off these tentacles of Matador because he's just completely able to harass all around the map, man.
Yeah, but Eric is making some way through the right-hand corner. This is probably your best bet. It's always your best bet. You can get onto the trade route, cut it off, end the game. That's what you want to be doing. And killing off that palace is big in the right-hand corner. Sneaking some villagers through there might be a way through for Eric. But every time we're looking at these fights, it's looking like El Matador is managing to get damage done, kill units, win these fights, or at least trading really, really well, Maiden.
Yeah. I agree. And actually, you mentioned bringing a couple of vills through. Qualifier builds super fast. So
They do build very quickly.
well, I know that, you know, you can only have so many, but still, if you can grab 2-3 Qualifier and just send them into that trade route, they can toss up, at least I think, they can toss up towers, ballet, the castle buildings. They can throw up a whole bunch of buildings into a trade route so fast, and just cause a whole slew of problems for El Matador. So both players, you know, maybe they're not recognizing that necessarily. They're focused all around the map by all means, but still, that's an option to try and close things out.
Yeah, Eric's trying to get the town center back up as well. I think that El Matador has caught that on the left-hand side. He has caught it, so he's denied it. Getting towers down. A big fat water dragon is now in, though. This is you can only get this for free, I think, from Shenong's unique bonus there, but it's out, and that's kind of scary.
Very much so. There's a couple of ballet on that top side. Eric, dude, El Matador has to secure that top side. You mentioned that one palace going down, indeed. But even so, he's got to secure that top side. Otherwise, it's pretty much GG. Battle of the markets at this point in time.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and on the same side, we see a trader somewhere. Did he steal the dragon? Like, wait, what did he steal? Like, there's a Hundun? Surprised he didn't go for the dragon there. But nonetheless, he manages to take that. The favor goes down quite a bit there as well. As these Ontaris just continuing to hit these raids. Eric doing a great job of defending himself, as the Ontaris will actually end up dying underneath these towers. But he's just, El Matador's going to keep sending on that back corner there. As at some point here, I'm sure El Matador is going to be thinking, let me just grab that town center. If he grabs the town center, he's going to need to get some more trade because he's barely got enough gold in the bank at the moment.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. You gotta you take a town center and then you just fill that extra population space with more, you know, economy pop. Is it really worthwhile in the end? Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yes. And now he's seeing some forward ballet shenanigans here as Eric is trying to get this game going. Siege of the Titans getting pre-queued. Eric wants that. He doesn't have the resources for it, but he wants it. As the Ching Long is in to cause some problems. There's not really, well, there are some range units here, but no hero units at the moment for El Matador to deal with that one.
Andre Eucino de Melanzane in chat is calling for a wonder. Bro, I don't know if they have economy to make a wonder. They have their trade route. Yeah. No, that is not part of the budget currently.
But behind this, all the units in the middle here, Town Center now coming up for El Matador. I don't know if he can quite finish it, as the army will probably turn over there. We'll see if he can get that Town Center up, give himself the extra population. He is really grinding this game out. If he can manage to make it work, it's going to be huge.
Oh yeah.
Finish it? No, he has to run into the tower.
Okay. Dude, drop another palace there. I think he definitely needs another palace there before he actually...
The Contarians, however, they say, I would like to stop your trade route, and I'm going to. Here I come, and those trade caravans will be... I mean, there's going to be a target cavalry here, but this is not going to be... a lot of these are going to die. This is a great way to play in this stage of the game, continuously raiding these trade routes and just getting the damage done. But this will allow Eric to set up a little bit more on this middle position. Towers, ballet, all of that pressure is going to be really, really important.
Oh yeah, I like that forward push with the towers and ballet and everything forward by Eric. I think that's what he needs to do to try and get a game-ending push going, is to support it with the buildings like this. Dude, look at that! Boom, 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 tower, ballet, etc. I love it, dude. I love it.
Oh. Is the town center up? It's not. It's not up. It's trying. He's still trying. He's starting to get a couple more caravans out as the Xinglong has gone down. More units to come over here. El Matador needs to redirect his army onto this spot and deal with all these units going after his villages here, as he's going to be losing a couple more citizens, sniping them down nicely. No real reaction from El Matador. Ontarius getting the damage done. All the citizens fall. Town center is not up, but it's almost finished, as all those units will be falling. I'm sure El Matador can just send a couple more villagers over there, no problems. He's starting to queue up a couple more citizens. I mean, I've already said it kind of once, but I think this is sort of a blessing for El Matador. He doesn't need 100 civilian units or citizens. He needs like 50 trade caravans, which he doesn't quite have, 35 trade caravans, and a handful of citizens on food and wood.
60, yeah, true. I was gonna say, once 60's getting a little,
Let's get a little
uncomfortable.
Maybe a couple more, but another steal of the Hundun over there. It gets kind of stolen back as well.
Okay, well, I mean, where are they making progress? You know, it's like we've kind of been looking at the same elements of the game for quite some time.
Yep. A lot of villages just fell there, Maiden, for Eric. He's down to 66 as well. They both got no economy left.
Yeah.
No economy. They're both suffering on the economy.
Yes. And those tiger cav, man, again, you talk about how expensive those things are. So if they're 115, I think it was, food, and 50 gold in terms of cost. That's hard to maintain, man. If you got Contarius constantly hitting trade and farmland, that's hard to maintain. 115, there you go. Thank you, Vodka. That's hard to maintain, man.
What's the next move? What's the next move at this point? You just keep spamming units out into the center of the map. It's not going to get it done. I'm loving El Matador's pressure down to the bottom of the map, just continuously picking off trade caravans, villages, everything else. But something else needs to give you. Don't have to go for the town center, but maybe like 2 or 3 more palaces onto that bottom side could be really, really nice. I don't think that El Matador can really afford to get those buildings down. He's now dropped down to 186 population. His economy is struggling yet again. Losing these units like this, good, bad. He's got to be sorting some stuff out in terms of economy and protecting that town center and getting that one up. The building's going to fall. Tiger cavalry here to kill off citizens.
Wall upgrade coming in. Ah, that's nice. That's good. That's good. Excuse me.
He's going down as well.
He's losing a little bit of a position over here. It feels like El Matador is kind of running out of steam a little bit, or maybe for a temporary amount of time. You know, he lost that position on that third town center forward. He's kind of losing Contarius numbers in the base rating. I'm not sure where his population is right now. Maybe he's got, you know, a large army in kind of in the center, but these are valuable buildings that he's losing down here, man. It took him a long time to get that position on that town center, and he's kind of losing it a little bit.
Yeah, I like what Eric's doing, moving in with these ballet, because these fighting with the army that he's got, plus having a ballet or two, that allows him to just be good, be happy to fight. If the ballet isn't there, he's kind of struggling on these fights.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what he needs to do to just continue. You push with buildings, man. It's kind of classic AOM theory in terms of late game and pushing. Got to push with buildings, man.
Or the other alternative is get yourself a Titan. He's now managed to click up through Secrets of the Titans. And now El Matador's got to be thinking, oh dear, I need to get a Titan out myself. He's got the favor. He does not have the resources.
Yeah. In terms of resources, you have to invest villager time into building the actual Titan gate. So that's what I think is interesting, is once he attempts, okay, sure, he can research it, but does he have the economic infrastructure? Ooh, the TC goes up. That hurts.
Yeah. But equally, look at the resources right now for EricBR. He's got no gold in the bank. 215 population, so he's going to be in that same position he was before. He just doesn't have the units out. He might just lose that town center immediately to these destroyers.
Well, let's see. But here's the thing, Boyd. So because this town center is back up, that's one big target that El Matador has to try and attack. So if he tries to go for the Titan Gate, it's like where does El Matador focus? Does he try and get his own and invest, villager citizens and economy into getting his own? Does he try and attack and take out this TC? Does he try and stop the Titan from going up? Once he goes for that Titan, Eric, that really complicates things for El Matador. That could potentially just be the game.
Yeah. Oh. The town center is so close to going down. These destroyers are just doing work. Look at him go. I mean, he's got Titan shield on him as well. I think they go up to like 90% pierce armor or something crazy. Is that correct? Am I lying? 91% pierce armor. I've had it.
That TC is going down a whole lot faster than I thought it was, man. Those destroyers are sneaky.
Yeah, and now, I mean, Eric's now got the Titan, but no population. I don't think he can afford to put villages onto that Titan gate. Maybe take some wood villages up with 1200, but has he placed it on the map somewhere? I don't think he has.
I don't think so.
He's finished researching it, but now Eric is like suddenly, I don't know, just dropped a huge amount of population. Got to pull back into his main base and try and use this Titan to finish the Titan as well, but try and use this Titan for something. Destroyer thematic Arcus here. What a I don't even know. These compositions here, I feel like El Matador is learning along with us as to like what you're supposed to go for.
Yeah. This is useful. This is information, man.
Now El Matador ready to get himself that town center back up. He's making the push happen. Eric's losing buildings all throughout the map. Did he lose a bunch of camel? He must have lost a bunch of caravans as well. He's dropped down to 41. Must have been a raid happening there.
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
Okay.
I think
Maiden, as a fellow like competitive agent player yourself, sometimes when you're playing these long games, you just kind of switch off for like 30 seconds here, and you just kind of go, "Oh, I just forgot to train units for 30 seconds." And,
yeah.
And then bam, I'm losing.
Yeah.
Maybe that just happened.
Oh. He had a brain fart. Is that what it was? That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think I can smell it. You might be right.
Well, now El Matador has the town center. He's got the full population. He knows. I think he must know where the Titan Gate is as well. But this Titan Gate is shooting up so quickly. Look at that. Look at that number. That's not slow. 31% already. What does he got on it? Does he have everything on it?
He's got it, dude. He's got to have the Qualifier on it. Please check it, vodka.
Holy wow.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Dude. Oh my god. That is a speedy Titan Gate.
Yeah, come on. That's crazy, right? That Qualifier build speed on a Titan Gate? Are you kidding me?
It's a lot of villages. Like how that's like having like 30 plus villages, right? Plus having all the peasants as well. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it is crazy. Maybe it is. I don't know.
That looks crazy. It looks crazy. Look at that. Boom, 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 boom. It's coming up, dude. It's boom.
Yeah, there's Titan. Now Eric ready to start pushing back here. Options for El Matador. 1, try and sneak up a Titan himself. 2, convert everything to heroes. He's got to not lose units. I don't think he's got the resources here to be throwing stuff away at this point.
Yeah. What else do you do, though? I mean, there is the theory that, against a Titan where you just ignore the Titan and play around it. He could maybe do that.
Yeah, that's always kind of an option.
Cool.
Damage is going to be coming through. A Titan by itself is never enough to win a game. You need to combine with human units and everything, and I love what Eric's doing. He's got his own human unit army in behind the Titan, using his Titan to kill off El Matador's units behind this. This is the way to go. This is how you get max value out of the Titan.
I mean, I guess. Okay. I mean, a
Titan's
tight.
well, he's now going to be able to push into the main base yet again and potentially get onto the
there
trade route or anything. It's got drop maybe a quarter HP, so it's got a lot of HP to lose here to continue along in this game.
Okay, fine. So it's not dying quite as fast as I thought. I was gonna say, you know, if Matador, if he can just keep throwing units at this Titan, maybe it's not gonna be the worst thing in the world, and he can actually kill it. If he keeps his town centers up, keeps his trade safe, he'll be a-okay. But once he starts losing like his production buildings, town centers, that's when things start getting a little dicey for him.
And Maiden, just to remind everyone, this is game 2. It's the best of 5 here. These guys have still got a bunch of games to play after this.
We're almost at the hour mark, dude. 53:09, 53:10.
Yep.
Well,
those
okay.
Hero Arcus are getting some huge value in. Behind this as well, we're not seeing it from El Matador, but he could, at this point, I'm sure Eric is laser focused on the fight. He could think about maybe a fire siphon into the main base of El Matador. At these sort of long games here where you've got the excess resource, one dude to get in there and try and make stuff happen. These human units surrounding the Titan seem like a good idea, but as soon as they turn around, the Titan turns around and it hits them, they're just going to fall here very, very quickly. Schmack. Maybe they won't actually. They can keep the HP.
Schmack. Plus a little bit of regen from the lush.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
You're right though.
Now we're. Yep.
I mean, there's still that palace down on that bottom side that El Matador has, so he can maybe sneak, you know, a little sneaky fire siphon to take out the trade. Yeah, to take out the trade TC, that main TC. I don't know, possibly, but Eric. It looks like Eric should be able to finish off this game now, right? If he just slices El Matador in half, he cuts off the trade route.
Exactly, and he's not taking any chances. I think he was kind of in this position once already in this game, but he didn't. There wasn't the economy to get the buildings up. Now Eric's taken the town center in the middle. He's got the towers. He's got the ballet. Titan still swinging that club around, getting damage done. The heroes aren't coming through El Matador in time here to deal with this Titan. He's still got a third of a HP remaining. He's very much alive and well at the moment. A couple of hero archers to come through, the Tiger Cavalry onto the trade route, and now Eric can just send the Titan up to that top spot and just go off the mark.
Market, TC, killed TC. That's another way to kill the trade as well. Either one. There's not enough units for El Matador to really stop that Titan from doing kind of whatever it wants to do, honestly. This is what Eric needs, man. This is what Eric needs. Just continue pushing forward with the buildings.
I was always wondering this. I never tested it. If the Titan is in favored land, does it get healed? I think it does.
It does. It does.
He's not in favored land anymore, so he's not going to get any help. But
oh, look at all those idle citizens. It's toast. I think this is the end. Boy, I think this is the end.
I do not think Maiden. I do not think Matador can pull this one back. He worked so hard to get himself that 3 versus 3 town center, but he did not go for the Titan himself. He didn't get the heroes out as a reaction to it. He sort of full sent into the main base. Kind of lost a lot of units trying to deal with it. And it looks to me like Eric is going to go on to win game 2.
It looks like
this qualifier. This is going to be wild, man. This is going to be a long series.
Hopefully, I love long series. They're epic. But anyway, trade town centers down. Those llamas should be dead. Ballet in the base. He's sliced into 2. Honestly, El Matador was this close to coming back into this. I mean, he was back in this game, right? On only 2 town centers. He was back in this game. But man,
I think it was actually probably okay here against the Titan as well. But he get all the heroes out. He only made like 4 or 5 Arcus.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, just was not quite enough.
He's still fighting though, dude. He's still fighting. Are you serious?
Yeah, he's not gonna give up. This is a fighter here. He's like, I want in this storm. Let me in this storm. Let me at him.
We gotta hit the hour mark, man. Come on, 2.5 more minutes almost. Come on, let's hit the hour mark. I think it
Yeah, the problem here is where's the trade?
Yeah, exactly.
Did he set a market up in the bottom corner of the map?
Oh, dude, that's what he can do. Just switch the market into the bottom. Yeah, there's his market. Yeah, that's even a better trade route, honestly.
Yep.
Blessing in disguise, dude. His gold is gonna skyrocket now if he had more caravans.
But now I think the Titan is now in favored land while he's attacking, so he's getting that HP back as he's pushing forward.
Resign at 59.59. Honestly, Boyd, you and I are both originally vanilla players, and Eric takes it with the Titan after a long game, almost an hour. Bravo.
Yeah.
On it, you know what? We're focusing a lot on El Matador because he was in the underdog position in terms of town centers.
Yeah.
But kudos to both of these players. Eric stayed in this game and fought just as hard as El Matador. He was defending all of that guerrilla bullcrap, right?
Yeah. Guerrilla bullcrap indeed. Yeah, it's just as hard to be on the offensive as to be on the defensive. And I think both players were attack defense the entirety of this game. So they're like trying to weigh up everything. And I mean, even up to the Titan where that came out, and Eric managed to get that out super quick with all the Qualifier.
Yeah.
The game was still in the balance even then, right? Like I said, if El Matador had read that situation correctly and retreated back up, got all the hero units out, maybe, just maybe, he could have been there. And this is the start of the game. The term getting some huge value here.
Wait, which game is this, Boyd? I don't even recognize. Which game are we talking about?
Do you remember this? We've got a lot of highlights to get through.
Yeah, we only got so much time, gentlemen. Be easy with the replays here. An hour's worth of replays or highlights.
I remember like the big moment here for Eric in this game. It might be coming up soon. Is Eric hits the heroic age and he traps the army in with the earth wall right here coming up. Traps the army in with the earth wall, and then Fey beasts this army. Now, I don't know how many heroes are here, but I do know if those automaton turned around and hit the Fey beast, he would have been able to kill off those very, very quickly. And he might have not lost all of his units.
Maybe it looks like there's 3 Terma there, 3 of those hero Terma. But they were. It looks like
that
he
was
was
a
just.
Big moment.
Oh yeah, it was. I mean, we ended up with 45 minutes of game after that moment, but it really changed things in terms of Eric being able to push out after playing defense for so long. Oh, it's beautiful. Look at all the fire. For all you pyromaniacs out there.
Blazing prayer.
Check it out. It wasn't too bad though, boy. Like he lost 4, 5, 6 citizens, something like that. But in the town center,
it wasn't that bad. Like it can feel sometimes some of these gold powers can definitely feel like they're just huge, gigantic things. But in the end of the day, here, if you're gonna play around it well enough, you can. Most of the time. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes the usage is just too good, and you're just gonna get value from it. But in this case, yeah, I think that El Matador was kind of fine from this position onwards. But what was really good from Eric is he managed to split his army up when that implode came through, and El Matador didn't get good value out of his implode at all.
Yeah, all those expensive Tiger Cav were over on the left side, and that's you can see on the minimap Tiger Cav on the left hand side, and then the archers mainly, and getting imploded here. So it was a good call right there. I don't know if it was intentional or just a little bit of luck there by Eric, but regardless, it mitigated that implode for sure.
Yes. Well, I think maybe we can. Let's try and leave this game behind us, mate. And we've got a huge long series to go. We're now going to be moving in onto everyone's favorite hybrid map. Wait, hello. Okay.
One more comment that I think is very apt. Okay, that Raifang made in chat. He said that El Matador's lack of AOT experience playing against Titans maybe was a disservice to himself. Maybe that was a nice little advantage for Eric, that he wasn't really comfortable with fighting against a Titan because he doesn't have a ton of experience. I think that is apt. So what's interesting is that I think his AoE 2 experience helped him stay in the game and, come back, extend. But eventually the lack of fighting against Titans experience, maybe that's what really did it in the end. Very apt,
Yeah,
Rifang.
I think that's absolutely right. I mean, killing off a Titan is difficult. You have to do a lot of micro. You have to get the heroes out. You have to work really, really hard. And when you've already played like an hour long, that's a challenge for sure.
Yes. Anyway, okay, on to the hybrid map. Go on, Boyd. I know you seemed excited.
We're playing on everyone's favorite map, Anatolia, right? Everyone loves the water maps. Everyone's a big fan. But we are going to be seeing first Greek of the series, and we're going to be seeing El Matador, who's already won once with Norse, going in with this squad. Man, this is... Oh, baby. I don't know what Eric's got in store for us here, but what I do know is that this god has been having a lot of success on this map.
Why do you think that is?
I think the main reason is because you don't really need food. So you're obviously going to get the fish. Your opponent's going to invest in things like Skylar to take the fish back, and they're probably actually going to win it all. But then you're going to get that technology through A-Gear, Piece of Renown, and you're going to be able to get a huge boost to your food economy. And that allows you to kind of stay competitive, stay in the game. Follow that up with, well, late game beast in the Norse Pantheon with Freyr, and you can win those games. That being said, I mean, this is Eric. EricBR, he is Greek expert from way back when. He definitely will know how to play this map as Poseidon. I'm fairly sure this is a fairly rare pick on this map. So we'll see what he's going to go for. I would have actually expected the Chronos, but maybe he's going to keep that one in his back pocket for a little bit later.
That's a good point. And also, speaking of Chronos, I noticed in the patch from last week or this week, whenever it was, you can actually time shift your Chronos buildings, your docks on either side. You can, I guess, rotate them, which is kind of cool and kind of stupid at the same time. But whatever, it's kind of cool.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I'm like anything cool for people to do and like have like weird strategies with. Like give the players all the options. Like why not? Why not shifting those buildings anywhere they can go, let them go there. If it's broken, then do something about it later. But like, let's see first.
Grass probably doesn't like that comment. Anyway, 7 seconds, 5 seconds. Here we go, Boyd.
Alrighty, we just had a marathon game, and we're going into game number 3 now. Both these players are going to probably feel a little bit under the exhaustion of that one, but they've got to soldier on. It's a best of 5 in the top of the map. We're going to be having El Matador as the player 1, but as the red color, just to confuse everyone, going with Freyr, and EricBR on the other side, going in with Poseidon. The Anatolia map here also is in, and the dock's already coming in. Eric gets the center of the map on the top side, and El Matador deciding to go on to the bottom side and getting his own situation started there as well.
Boy, I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong here, in the patch we just got, I don't think there was a change to Skilla, right?
That was nerfed a couple of patches ago, yeah. So it's not as good. It's still good.
Still good. Well, I'm just saying that it seems like Skilla really still, for the most part, dominate water. But I know a lot of people recently have been commenting on that fact. But in terms of balance, I don't think we saw an additional nerf. However, right?
No, I do. I'm going to go ahead and lock in. I think there was a significant nerf to this unit.
But does that?
I don't think it's. I don't think it's dominating anymore. I think it's just a really powerful myth unit, kind of in the same tier as the Kraken, or what's the other one? The Leviathan. I think they're kind of similar. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Poseidon can. Well, I guess you can go for. It does essentially what I'm getting at here is, you mentioned getting a quick heroic time as the Greek player, getting skill out,
Yep.
dominating water, blah blah blah. Fish eco not being as food eco not being as big a deal for Freyr, wanting to focus on the food, on the wood and gold, blah 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 blah. So that's kind of what I'm getting at here is how worried should El Matador be about losing one side of fish, or rather trying to defend and keep one side of fish?
I mean,
And
you
how does
obviously don't
skill
want to
play
just
into
give
that?
it. You don't exactly want to give away the fish ever.
Mm,
But if someone's gonna invest into taking the water with those with water myth units, you either have to be prepared to go into archer ships and get yourself that
heroic fleet.
technology heroic fleet. Yeah. Prepared to do that and micro your little socks off.
Ooh.
Or you have to say, okay, let's try and force out maybe 1 or 2 extra myth units, get town centers, and try and get some damage on land to mitigate, keep the game close. And obviously, here we already kind of discussed it pre-game, but with Freyr having access to that Feast of Renown, that can kind of mitigate some of some of that damage you sustain, anyways. So
Mm.
yes, you can't just, like I said, you can't just give it away. I don't think just saying, "Oh, you built one, you got your one free water myth unit." I guess you have it. You can't really do that. You still have to say, "Okay, well, I better get out my Kraken or get out a couple of units to kind of force some more stuff to come through." Otherwise, you're going to be in a little bit of trouble.
Mm. Well, we'll see exactly how this water situation shapes up. Speaking of water, we see temples going up. We see Hermes coming in for Eric on the Poseidon side. Freyr is going to be pretty behind in terms of an advance time, 30 or more seconds behind. I'm looking at dock numbers real quick, Vodka. I see no additional docks by El Matador on the top side. So yeah, just these two for Eric on the left side. There's a dock. So there will be some contested water on the right-hand side. 2-to-1 docks currently, but I'm confident Eric's probably going to drop another one over there to fight against the water. It'll be interesting to see whether or not El Matador drops a dock up on the top side. Okay, well, there's the answer, I guess. And the witchmabobber's gonna see it. What's that thing called? The hippocampus.
The Hippocampus. Yeah, very,
Hippocampus.
very late advance time here from El Matador, actually.
Yeah.
Generally, we are seeing players advancing around about 5 minutes to 5 minutes and 30 seconds. El Matador is on the very late end of that. So Eric's going to be able to get some early damage done. He's already getting his Atalanta out. The Centaur is going to be moving across the map to start pressuring the main base. But getting a dock or two up onto this top side, that's going to be a big help for him.
Sure. Well, there's only one dock for Freyr, honestly, on the top side, whereas Eric has 2 on the bottom side. So the harassment potential should be much better for. Yep, thank you, Vodka. The harassment potential should be much better for Eric on that bottom side of water compared to what El Matador was able to do on the top. Small trickle of wood. Ooh, a wood trickle. That's nice.
Yeah. Now, one thing that I'm looking at and thinking is a little bit interesting is Eric's lack of fishing ships early. This is surprising. Generally, we see players get somewhere between 12 to 18 fishing ships, and Eric, I think he's only got himself out like, I want to say
9?
9. Well, now 12, but like very, very late. While he advanced faster and he's putting pressure on, he did take some damage, sort of took some damage by not getting his economy going there. So he's going to be looking to get damage done elsewhere.
Can you call that taking damage when he doesn't like get as much eco out
Well,
as he could have?
Kind of. Kind of.
He's
I mean,
damaging himself.
If your opponent does do it, I know it sounds silly. You're right. I'm not. I can't English. I can't English. English is tough, man.
I know.
But yeah, if you don't get the maximum amount of like villages you possibly can out, and your opponent does, then I guess you've taken damage.
I see what you're saying. We see what you're saying. The phrasing is hilarious, though. But we see what you're saying.
Yeah, it is. It is. Or at the very least, you have to deal damage to make up for the fact that you didn't get those 2 Rhinos out.
Okay, I can get down with that explanation. I can also get down with a very forward Asgardian Bastion, which is going to be clutch to protect that forward gold mine. It's got a couple of Hearse here building that bad boy. I don't think Eric's going to be able to stop it from going up. Maybe, man, maybe he can get some nice little kills, but I think that thing's definitely going up for sure.
Yeah, he's going to lose his Draugr, though. Potentially the Centaur going down. A couple of hits there, too many from Eric. So hard to control that Centaur and keep him alive. You know, you've got to be on top of it the entirety of the game, especially when you've got these Drakkar harassing. You've got stuff down the bottom happening. It's like it's all going to go very, very pear-shaped very, very quickly. But you're right. I think the Aegir is in. The
Ooh.
Hillfort is up. And El Matador is really going to be liking his position moving forward.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Eric is doing a nice job handling the pressure on water. Um, okay, I think he's doing a good job handling pressure on water. You were talking about how Eric did not have fishing ship numbers out early on. He's got them now. He's got fish on both sides, man. He's got like what 6 fish on the bottom side and the majority of the fishing spots taken on the top side. So he's been handling the harassment well. He's later to the heroic age, which he's kind of forfeited. But you know, he's made up for it with a lot of fishing ships. Ooh.
Yeah, I guess now we have this is another interesting problem. Maybe it's not a problem, you tell me. But Eric's first dock is on the top of the map, which means his free Skylar is going to the top. I mean, he doesn't have a free myth unit to deal with this crack.
That is very true.
But
And there's only that
maybe
one.
El Matador's. Yeah, I think El Matador might win this bottom order unless, I mean, Eric does have 2 villages on favor. He's got 23 favor in the bank, so he can quickly get himself out of Skylar if he wants to, but I'm sure he's going to be wanting to drop his fortress as soon as he possibly can.
True. And there's another dock going up on that top side. So El Matador, he ain't giving up that top side of water. I was about to say that there's only that one dock. So when the Skilla comes in here in about 30, 40 seconds, there would have only been one dock, but second one going up. So El Matador's not ignoring or just giving away that top side of water, which I think is good. He's taken over the bottom side, like you mentioned. And here into the middle, thinking about taking over the bottom side. Here into the middle, he's got some nice looking army there. Lots of infantry, which is classic for El Matador at this point in time.
Yeah.
Where is he headed?
You do have to. I don't know, he's killing off a dock or something. The big thing, however, Maiden, is as soon as the Greek player hits the heroic age, the thing you got to be scared about is the Paspis. Paspis unlock, and they are going to be able to deal with this infantry mass very, very easily.
Throwing axemen are good, but still, you know, they're that's absolutely right. That it complicates the Norse army composition a lot once you have to try and deal with the Hippospis.
Yeah.
What is this ox cart doing here? What? Hello, sir.
Sacrificial ox cart.
Sacrificing it to A here to try and get something going. I don't know. A lot of berserks coming out. There's those Hippospis, man, and he's instantly got to back off.
Yeah, but the dock looks like it's going to be going down. Looks like El Matador. The problem on Anatolia is always going to be that middle gold mine, right? If you can secure one large gold mine in the center, that's very, very good. If you can't, you're going to lose. So, El Matador, he's got the favor-ish in the bank to grab himself another Asgardian Bastion, but he has to get the technology as well. Or he's going to have to just move forward. But there's still a little bit more time left of the home gold mine. So questions of whether he's going to just try and spam units out, take a fight, then you have to deal with bronze. He's going to try and get to the Mythic age because he's already got himself up one fortress, so he's already unlocked that as an option. But it looks like he's just pumping units out, which is kind of playing into this Eric plan, I think. Eric is going for a bronze sort of situation to hold. Now, then again, we do have both Tempest and Gullenbursty remaining.
Oh, Gullenbursty, my boy. Gotta get it. But Gullenbursty, where the bronze is probably going to happen is on one of those exterior gold mines. I don't think Golden Burst is going to be terribly valuable in a situation like that because it's going to take him so dadgum long to trot out out from that main town center. So what I'm saying here is El Matador maybe should be thinking about grabbing a town center somewhere near to the, like if he takes that top town center, it's technically his back TC. That could really set him up nicely to try and secure the gold mine, take a fight there, etc.
I mean, the other thing is right now, El Matador is being cheeky. He's got dwarves in the middle of the map right now on a gold mine with nothing defending it. Now he could, it's down in south a little bit, there you go. He could drop a transport ship out, very, very sneaky, and say, well, that's my defense. You're going to come raid me, I'm going to run into my transport. But we're going to be seeing the fortress.
Transport.
Sneaky. You've got to be sneaky.
Indeed. That's a fun idea. That's a good idea. It's not a bad idea.
The army has been spotted, though. Eric's army is going to be too slow to get over here, but I don't think he's going to mind too much about a bronze fight underneath a hill fort if he doesn't have to deal with Ghoul and Bursty. It's just Tempest. Tempest versus bronze. I don't know about you, but I'm liking this army of Eric.
Yes, I mean, especially with the count with that instant Tempest, dude. Oh, instant bronze. He's trying to finish up that hill fort. I don't think it's gonna finish.
No. He basically has to run here. This is the advantage of Tempest, is that the army's not gonna be able to chase you. So he keeps his dwarves alive. He's gonna lose that hill fort, but he's still good to keep going, and he has managed to get through the brunt of this bronze god power.
Not bad, not bad. I was gonna say before this engagement started, taking either of the additional town centers for El Matador could be really nice to position Golden Bursty or open up the door to a nice Golden Bursty usage.
Yeah.
I guess he's not on the same wavelength as us, but whatever. Got to get on that Golden Bursty train. Come on, El Matador. He's using
one Golden Bursty. Where is he? Where? Hello there, Mr. Golden Bursty. Welcome to the game. He's gonna.
Okay.
I'm not exactly sure what this is, but it's here to defend. He's got 45 seconds of it, and Eric, I mean, he's pushing forward to try and deny this hill fort going up. Golden Bursty will get some value here.
Just a little bit. Come on, the big chunker.
He's huffed and puffed. He can only make it a little bit.
Oh, that was a little preemptive.
Yeah. Here's the thing that Eric's done that's really, really nice. He's managed to click up to Artemis now. So an earthquake on this fort position to clean up all these buildings. If there's going to be a hill fort here, I don't know, but an earthquake onto this position, that's going to be a lot of pain. Plus the Chimera as well to help out.
Yes, oh yeah. Clean all that up. You know, Chimera to get a special on either units or eco. What is that, Bacchanalia? Or no, it's not called Bacchanalia anymore. What is that thing called? Whatever.
Dionysia? Dionysia? Maybe.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Anyway, so those units, thank you. Yeah, 5%, sick.
This is such an interesting game now because, I mean, El Matador is making Jarls to deal with these Aspis, charging in underneath the hill fort with that 1 HP a second now coming through on the regen. It'll be 0.5. Great garrison onto the back of those Centaurs. 2 of them will end up going down. Eric's army is dropping, but so too is El Matador's army as the Aspis are going to break through onto those Throne Axemen. I'm sure El Matador is going to be controlling these beautifully, but look at that Hydra maiden. It's got 3 heads.
It's about to get more, man. It's about to get more. It's about to back off, okay? Maybe he's just gonna... there was a decent fight. It was a decent fight. I think he's just gonna trot in there, drop an earthquake, and then...
Well, he's gonna have to rebuild his army, though, right?
Yeah,
imagine if you had those 2,400 resources, they probably would have been able to keep going here on that attack and probably win the game on that moment. So he's going to have to get something with this earthquake as he does drop it into, it must be the main base. There it is, main base, taking down houses, taking down town center. And there's not a lot of wood in the bank here. Down to 30 total population at the moment. Now, luckily for El Matador, he can take his villages and he can build those houses up. But that was a huge amount of damage. Look at the resource. Did he deny the Mythic Age there?
I think so. I think so. Yeah. He
He
did.
denied that Mythic Age. Oh my god.
Ouch.
That's gigantic.
That's what she said. She also said that El Matador may be down on population, but he just needs to rebuild houses, and he's back in this. It hurt, by all means, to like stopping the Mythic Age and everything, but he ain't straight up dead. He ain't straight up gold starved. So I think there's life yet to be had for El Matador here. But Eric's still in a really good position, man. 10 Jarls are queued up. Oh my goodness, 12 Jarls are queued up. Jeez.
That just like El Matador is looking at his resources being like, how do I spend these resources? And he's like, I'm just gonna give me all my Jarls. All these dwarves are gonna be dying over here. El Matador's chances of winning this game are going up in flames here. Well, I guess there are flames from the Chimera, but I don't know what else he can do here. He's just been hit in such a big way.
Oh my gosh, dude. Oh my gosh. I think that El Matador threw this down the drain. Remember, this is Retold, villagers can build houses. So he absolutely could have grabbed all of his villagers, infantry, everything, and rebuilt all of those houses quickly in order to, try and maintain some population. But, I mean, he's still, okay, fine, he's up at 130, but still, he's hurting, man. 22 villagers.
He's gonna get his town center up. There's a champion cavalry already in right now.
Wow. Yeah, that TC's going down. I hate to say it. I don't think we're gonna see Mythic here from El Matador. $61 to 22 vills, boy.
I think the town center might actually be falling again. As I mean, Eric, he's not gonna stop raiding. He's not going to stop putting pressure on. At this point here, El Matador has lost his grips on this game. He's got him some units. I guess he's just got so many resources in the bank that maybe just by sheer spammage of units here, he might be able to push back and then kill off all the villages of Eric. I mean, I don't see any other way. Eric is he's on 2 town centers. He's on 2 town centers now. So you got to do so much. Oh, he's not. He's now only just getting a town center up. So I guess maybe there's something here for him.
Well, yeah, you see there's only 13 villagers for El Matador, but he does have
106 military, 110 military.
but also the fishing ships. The fishing ship eco.
Yep, that's right.
So the eco numbers look dire, but it's not as bad as you maybe think.
Yeah, I mean, remember what we said.
It's still very dire.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're on 100 villages. You've got 0 gold mine. Eric has a gold mine. But he has to deal with a 132 population Norse army, which does have... And you also have to remember all of those hill forts that El Matador has, that's where the villager as well. So I'm grasping at straws here.
Yeah.
El Matador is definitely in a really tough position right now. But Eric still has to play well.
But he has to finish off this game as he's retreating. This is interesting, man. I don't think that this is like El Matador is going to survive and win this game. But
I kind of want it to happen just because it would be like look at it, look at what he's done. He's like taken this position which seems absolutely catastrophic. You got your Mythic Age denied. You got a whole bunch of your villages dead. You had tons of resources in the bank because you were going Mythic Age ready to buy technologies and everything with them. And you go, well, yeah. I guess I just have to spend all my resources on military and go. This is basically like Ragnarok. We just saw Ragnarok happen. And all of these units here have... Look at Eric, he has to run away. He can't engage this army. There's just so many dudes here.
Dude, you literally took the words right out of my mouth. Dadgummit, I wanted to say Ragnarok. But, Ragnarok. This is basically a Ragnarok. I mean, he has, 175 population, 12 villagers, some fishing ships. It's basically a Ragnarok, right?
Yep, and Eric's got himself a lot of military population as well here. The pacifists are incredibly effective against these infantry units as it kind of looks like he's managing to get through this army, but he's going to have to retreat here. Look at the food in the bank here for El Matador. Now he's getting Freya's gift.
Yeah, why not? Why not? It costs food after all. Why not? Lots of favor as well.
But he has no gold in the bank. He is killing off the villages of Eric, though. I mean, Eric's also got 0 gold in the bank. Both players got 0 gold in the bank. And Eric's finished up on the gold mine. Dude, there's no way. Is this gonna come down to one more fight? Okay, no. Eric can just put everything onto Temple and make Chimera here.
Ooh. Okay. Well, plus he can just throw he's got all the fishing ships for food. He can put all of his 72 villagers onto wood. He can sell resources for gold, honestly. Whereas El Matador, he doesn't have the land economy in order to really sell resources, right? Yeah, 50, 60 villagers.
Can we see the market? What's the trade looking at the moment? What's the trade looking at?
Just click on a market.
Control, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So 65 gold. So he's gonna get a hefty amount there for
that's good
for those Deuterinos. So I think he's gonna be getting up to full population here fairly simply. He's gonna be able to push forward. I don't know what I don't know if El Matador can pull this one out of his bag of tricks here. He's gonna have to micro like a literal god.
As he runs through.
This centaur to get built. There's gonna be Hydra, Chimera. What it take your pick on some non-gold costing myth units to come in.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Aspis are going to be cleaning everything up. And El Matador's population plummets to 0. And the game will be going EricBR's direction here.
Will it, though? Will it?
I think I have 16 villages, 150 population. We know it. El Matador knows it, and Eric also knows it now as claims the second or third game in this best of 5 series 2-1. Eric is 1 game away now, Maiden. 1 game away from his first main event. Will he be able to make it? He has been playing incredibly well thus far. That was a game and a half, though, was it not, Maiden?
Absolutely, man. Both of these games, game 2, game 3, all 3 of these games, actually, super fascinating, very different dynamics in all 3 of them. Very interesting, though. I think that, that call out at the very end that Hydra, Centaur, neither cost gold, Hippospis, super low cost on gold. So the gold issue is definitely a much bigger problem for El Matador compared to Eric. And look at that, 49 villagers killed. Ouch. That hurts on only 1 town center eco. That hurts big time.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, I'm interested. Oh, never mind. I was gonna ask if we could see the food total tab, but nonetheless, I mean, I'm trying to get my
There's the ox cart.
the random hero ox cart.
Ox cart rush, man. It's showing up in 2025. This is good stuff. Okay, but ultimately, this is where I think the Hippospis started to show their scary little capes. And this was here we go. This is the Tempest. I don't think this fight would have been much different if the Hillfort had finished. I still think he probably would have needed to retreat.
He just needed to run away straight away. You don't fight the bronze. The bronze is too strong. Just run. This was totally fine here. El Matador losing a unit or two is not really going to matter. But yeah, pulling back completely fine. Got his villagers to safety. Got out of there, and then he can move on to the other side of the map. This fight here was interesting though, because Eric kind of pushing before he had Mythic Age. This is the perfect time for El Matador to really be taking a fight. The great garrison micro. The interesting part about this all is really how well Eric's army was performing here. You had the front line of Jarls, you had the back line of Throw and Axemen, and this army of Eric's just kind of, I would say, it traded equally at worst here underneath the Hillfort fire. So just credit to Eric's positioning in that one and getting the units where they needed to go.
Yep. Do you think I wonder how this game would have been different if El Matador got a second town center. We were talking about it so much
Yes,
because of the Golan Bursty, right?
yes.
But he never ended up getting the second town center.
I'll tell you, I play Keto quite a bit. He's one of the best in the business with this god, and I'll tell you what, he likes a good cheeky second town center on this map, soup as well.
Mm,
And the reason is because people drop that god power down, and you lose your town center, and you get your mythic age denied.
yeah.
So yeah, a second town center and just trying to hold in the heroic age, a lot of sense here against that sort of a mythic age push from Eric.
Well, the heroic age for Freyr in particular, for Norse, but in Freyr in particular, there's a lot of bread and butter. As yeah, there goes the the town center that just went down again. Heroic age is such a bread and butter era of the game or time period of the game. I believe this is maybe the last hurrah here for the army of El Matador. No, it was not quite, not quite. Anyway, with the Bear Greasy, you can get the upgrade for the Rock Giants. Get the Bear
Yeah,
Greasy out, and honestly, they soak up so much freaking damage.
yeah,
It's such a good frontline unit. That's kind of a big option,
exactly.
big heroic age
The
option for El
you're
Matador.
absolutely right. It's like the answer for the tricky unit to deal with is that counter infantry unit, Axeman, the Pacifist, right? The
Yes.
answer is Rock Giants. They pull the damage in and that allows your throw and action. But we're now going to see the next game, and we are back to our tried and true Aiden. We saw this in Red Bull, Wallaloo. We saw this a lot in Genesis. We saw this in Wrath of the Gods. It's not going to go anywhere. We're going to be seeing it yet again. Egyptian versus Norse, Ra versus Loki. There's been a lot of balance patches since those tournaments. I'm not exactly sure where the advantage lies, but one thing's for certain, there's going to be some fireworks in this game. We might actually see some walking woods, some trees, some walking trees. So maybe not for certain. So, Hayden, what do you reckon?
I don't know. I don't know. It's so hard to say because in the past, Ptah has been so
Yep.
oppressive against Norse,
Yep.
but that's been kind of mitigated a little bit in terms of balance and patches and whatnot. So I still think it's probably strong. I don't know if that's necessarily El Matador's preference, but it's very threatening. If Loki's able to get heroic, things start getting pretty dadgum complicated. I think that's kind of the big caveat is can Eric get heroic and in what manner? Um,
Yeah.
and you know what is he going to do with that? There's I can easily see both sides. We talked about this map, resources being exterior, and there's a lot of
Yep.
potential for either side to hit timings on exterior resources in different ways.
Yeah. This map, personally, I don't like this map as Ra. This map's difficult for Ra. The gold mines, they're always kind of exposed. You can sometimes get a back gold mine if you roll the dice and get lucky. It does exist. We saw it already once, but most of the time the gold mines are really exposed, and you're gonna then have to deal with the flaming weapons timing on that gold mine.
Yeah.
So you're basically forced into doing one talent and a classical aggression as the Ra, which I mean it's not bad. You already touched on it. It used to be done quite a lot. It's still possible. It's not like it was nerfed into the ground. It's got a light touch up from the Wadjet. Just go for it. But yeah, it makes things challenging, that's for sure. So I guess the question is, like, what does Eric do if the map spawns bad for him? Say back gold mine situation or something like that. Is he going to try and match town centers himself and go that way, or is he just going to just go for that big one town center all in that we've seen time and time again from Loki players? But yeah, it's game point for Eric. So he's got a little bit of caution that he can throw to the wind, but I could be wrong, but I feel like Eric has been in this situation before where he was one win away from getting into the main event. So we'll see if he can maintain his cool here. But we're going to be jumping into game number 4 now, as in the left-hand corner of the map, Eric spawns with Loki, the blue Loki. El Matador in the right-hand corner. Maiden, I already see it on the mini-map. It's sticking out like a sore thumb. We got the red Ra here, El Matador, with 2 gold mines right next to each other spawning behind his base. El Matador is going to be very happy about this. Maybe.
Oh yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Let me just touch on just a
Maybe.
little bit. Let me just touch on a
Okay.
little bit. Reason why maybe is some pro players learn one strategy for these gods because there's so many gods you have to learn. So they just pick one strategy and they go, okay, I'm going to use this one. I know that this map is fantastic for a defensive Ra game. But you have to know how to play that defensive Ra game plan. I don't know if El Matador knows this or not. I know that El Matador knows how to go for a classical age fight. This gold mine for Eric is beautiful to play against a classical age fight. So
Right.
we'll see. I don't know. I don't know what El Matador's strategies are. I don't know how deep he knows these Egyptian gods, but yes, this gold mine is absolutely insane.
Well, having said that, um, he he did pick Ra. It was one of his last picks, but he did pick Ra. I don't know. I would have to take a look at the actual draft, but there were other options. He specifically picked Ra, and it wasn't his last pick. So that gives me a little bit of some, I don't know if you could say confidence, but a little bit of something where it's like, okay, maybe he's ready for something. He didn't have to pick Ra on Giza, by the way. He's
Yes.
he could have picked,
Yeah, he had
I believe
Uranus, he had Zeus. Yeah,
Zeus and Uranus.
both very, very powerful picks into. Obviously, doesn't know if Eric's going to pick Loki, but both great picks into Loki.
So, I want to say that, that gives me some confidence in that he's prepped, that he's going to, just know exactly what he wants to do and try and execute it. But you're right that, hey, there's a lot of gods to play and you can only be, you can only perfect every single one so much in such a short amount of time. Anyway. I don't know what this game is going to look like shaping up. I really don't know. So I'm just going to have to, let's just watch it unfold, I guess.
There's really nothing that indicates what's happening up until you start seeing the Egyptian player put tons of villagers onto gold or some villagers onto wood. It kind of looks like El Matador might have 2 villagers on wood already in his base there. If we take a look at the north side of El Matador's base, he does have only 1 villager on wood. So this doesn't really mean anything here. It could be a classical fight. It could be a 5-second town center. It doesn't really tell us much. If you have 3 villagers on wood, then you're going to start thinking about what's a classical fight. He's dropped the second monument just to dive into even more Egyptian theory. This does kind of mean he's not going for a 5-second town center. You can do it. You can go 2 monument, then second town center. We're seeing Bast. That did not even register. I was no Bast. That's not something I'll ever. Okay. And we're out of my we're out of my playbook with Ra. Take it away. Tell me what this.
Well, I mean, does it mean Sphinx? Like Bast and 2 monuments? I guess it means Sphinx, but against Loki, that's the weird part, right? It's an open map. We've seen it plenty of times. Plenty of times before. Good eye vodka. Tusk of the Ironbore for stronger cavalry that Loki is picking up right now. That is delicious. Would have been sick if El Matador got that for his camels. I believe that's a 3rd tower or monument that he's dropping as well. So looks like Sphinxes, and yeah, Archery blows. Looks like Sphinxes. Again, that is a little bit peculiar now, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I'm reminded of this in the chat. This was how the Mister got dealt his first loss in tournament. 3 monument Sphinx classical aggression. Axeman plus
Against
Sphinx
Loki.
means against Loki. Yes, it was Ra versus Loki. Might have been Isis against Loki. Can't exactly remember. But yeah, this was the strat. So
I think it was Isis, actually. I was casting that game. I think it was an Ancestors Eclipse. I think.
There you go.
Anyways.
So that's going to be the option is just spam out Axeman, you spam out Sphinx. Your opponent doesn't really have a great answer to that army composition until they get to Cody. or
But
mass troll. But
mass
how do you
trolls,
get
you
that
said?
back gold mine? But how do you get that back gold mine is the or attack that back gold mine is the question.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have a shifting sands for a little surprise attack. You gotta simply get there. As we see a couple of Creel Sphinx headed out, they should be able to stop that. Well, that should be a dead berserk, honestly, if he finds it. Up, up, up. Okay, or he's just gonna. There we go.
This is already some nice damage here if you can actually pick that one off.
Yeah.
Is he not? Well, he's not using the special. Must have that turned off. Unless I missed something.
Hmm. Okay.
Well,
Well,
Eric
I
is
mean,
going to have
even.
his work cut out for him, isn't he? 'Cause these Sphinx are about to get very quick. Cry Sphinx coming through.
Hmm. But if this and the raiding cavalry get a little bit of damage there, maybe looking at some damage. But here's the thing: like you're right about the Axeman and Myth unit being a really strong army composition for Egyptian, as we see, trying to get some kills here and there. But and there's actually another Sphinx going in the backside of that base. Keep an eye on that vodka. Dead villager. Okay, so yeah. Probably not going to find any damage. Does he have Hall of Thanes in? No, not quite yet.
It's coming through, but that's real. It doesn't really help. Like, sure, you go up to 5 point something. Both those raiding cavalry going down there because that's like 5-ish speed. But you're trying to chase down a 6+ speed mid unit. Yeah, it's not easy. The big thing is that the Herser have got that bonus damage against mid units. As Loki,
Yeah.
20% bonus damage. So if they get the damage done or actually attack, yeah, it's going to get felt.
Yeah.
But as opposed to when you're playing as like Odin and your Hersa swing their club and it feels like the things don't take any damage.
Indeed. 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 Now remember, those raiding cavalry have Tusk of the Iron Boar, so they're a teensy bit stronger than they would be otherwise. But here's the thing, Boyd. Myth unit Axeman, super strong against Norse. Okay, sure. But still, Loki's should have enough speed and attack and everything on those Herser. The Herser go down quickly, but they should, with good micro, he should be able to hopefully mitigate those Myth unit numbers, the Sphinx numbers, right? So
Yeah,
if and when a big fight comes in, he should be able to take a fight fairly confidently.
I guess the tricky thing is, as we see the Sphinx going to get pushed back here, a little bit of damage, but let's get away. The tricky thing is, you really don't want to build throw an Axeman when you're playing against Sphinx.
Yeah.
It's a huge raid actually coming through, but El Matador does see it. He tries to, Eric trying to get max value there by getting us around. Not going to be able to do so. He sees the villagers on the gold mine. Sphinx coming through here. Still no reaction to this as the villagers or the army of El Matador. He's just focused on this army over here, trying to get damage done, but he is taking huge damage in his main base here. The Sphinx going to come over here and try and support. That was weird to see, but I think that El Matador didn't really lose that much, so he's okay.
That was better. That was more damage than it should have been, right?
Yeah. I think it was way more damage than it should have. But nonetheless, to finish the point, you don't want to build thrown axemen against the Sphinx because they're going to die to an eclipse. They're all going to get annihilated, right?
Oh yeah.
So then how do you deal with the spearmen? You're trying to build raiding cavalry to deal with the axemen, and it gets this big mess. Now, I do think the answer is for Eric is to get heroic age and make Bodhi. That's the simple answer.
Yeah.
And he's trying. He's got the food coming in. He's already got the gold. He's going to be able to advance. So he's going to be able to get there. But will he be able to get there fast enough? And defend the big push is the big question.
But what is the big push going to look like? Because he also has the gold mine on the backside of his base. So an eclipse could be sick with like 6 or 7 sphinxes, however many he has, plus all the human units to support it. That could be sick. Is that enough to push through a base, especially with Bragi right around the corner? Maybe, sure, maybe. Maybe with the Locust also coming in. Matador is going up through Sobek, so a Locust is going to come in as well. That does Locust potentially does damage to military units these days. I don't know, man. This is an interesting one.
Eric is doing a great job of catching these Sphinx out. Does Eric have himself Eyes in the Forest, the unique technology for Loki? Maybe just check on it doesn't matter, any unit. In the temple.
Click.
No, he does not have it, okay. So there's no like random line of sight that he just has, but he's playing a great game. Just he's in the mind of El Matador in a big way. But we've got Sobek coming through, and we've got Bragi. Now this is the thing with like flaming weapons. You don't want to use it
Oh.
unless you've got full population.
Mm-hmm.
But when your opponent has got Eclipse Locust, you're gonna, even if you have full population, you're taking huge damage from that.
Mm-hmm.
So both players are going to be throwing their units at each other, clicking their big god powers. And I'm not even sure if this is going to be enough. It might be. I don't actually
Oh,
know.
really?
We'll see.
Indeed. How many Sphinx does he have? He's got 6 Sphinx. Low HP. Ay, ay, ay. Not a good engagement for Eric.
This is going to be a lot of damage here. The units are just, there's just so many infantry here for El Matador. And I guess beyond this, now El Matador's got a rock, which has been buffed. It got buffed recently, so
Boo.
but he can use that to maybe try and sneak in a unit or two across these walls. I don't believe
True.
walls give line of sight, so you can very simply just fly over them, drop them over there, and then have the Sphinx behind without alerting anything to your opponent.
Oh, man. He might be doing that. I want to see, Vodka. Let us see. Oh, he's not doing that, but he almost did it.
But even just killing off this wall, you got to be careful. You don't want to run through here, otherwise you're going to get walled in and get stuck. This could be very scary. Eric has got this. I'm sure. Oh, he's going to kill off the other wall. Fine.
He's got the rock, though. He's got the rock, though, there, just in case.
And he does have a locust, but Eric pulls back his dwarves nicely.
Amygdal. Forward Migdal.
Yep.
Interesting.
You're going to start seeing some camel riders here.
Okay. Could be sick, I guess. What? The tension's building. I'm getting a little bit nervous here. What's going to happen? When is it going to happen?
When is the question?
When?
There looks like there is a red dot flying up to the top left corner. I'm not sure.
Yes,
It's
yes.
just a rock. He might be looking at... I don't think he wants to locust the villagers here. I think he wants to use locust on the army. You got to get that
Right.
extra damage done so that you don't just outright die to the flaming weapon.
Yes, yes, yes. I agree. I agree. I agree. And if you look in the just generally within this main base, there's a lot of really thin, narrow avenues through which you could locust, and there's gonna dude, that was pretty big after all. Point. Here we go.
The
Weapons
flaming
and
weapons
Eclipse.
is in. The Sphinx pulling back. The human units here pulling back as well, as it looks like El Matador doesn't even want to fight this. He's got a Migdal he can retreat back to in the main base as well. Eric does have a couple of those raiding cavalry, but they will go down to the villagers shanking as the Sphinx are looking for huge damage in the main base. The human units here sitting outside of that Migdal will go down. What's happening in the back of the base, though, in terms of EricBR, he's run his villagers back. The Sphinx is searching, the Ursa chasing after them. It looks like no damage will come through, but the flaming weapons is almost done for. And the Sphinx get blocked there, body blocked as he's trying to get out the front there. He does manage to retreat away. The army now pops out as the flaming weapons is about to be finished. But I think that Eric, I don't actually know, did he mitigate the damage? It's still 39 villagers each as the army drops back into that Migdal stronghold. The Sphinx coming back in to get just a little bit of damage in onto this one. But now the Eclipse is also done. That was...
Whoa.
Mate, I don't even know. That was tense. I think both players dealt damage to each other. I think El Matador comes out in front on that one to some degree. He's got more population in terms of military, but he still has to take a really good fight here to convert.
But wait. He hasn't gotten any myth unit spawns. So, okay, fine.
There's one. There's the Brauga.
Speak of the devil. Well, that's something big. I think that a lot of these units have dealt a decent amount of damage. So by all means, if he takes another big engagement here, we could start seeing myth units popping like they are very hot.
What is this Pharaoh doing? Hello there, Mr. Pharaoh. Oh, there's some... killed he snipes a villager and he kills a patrol. The straggler Pharaoh out in the middle of nowhere.
Like, sneaky.
I meant to do this.
All part of the plan. All part of the plan. Here we go.
Well, now
Here we go.
the
Here we
Sphinx
go.
coming onto the villagers. He's onto the the back line, getting annihilated there. There is a Ursa getting some damage done, but the Camel Riders are going to be able to clean up those raiding cavalry as well as the Sphinx pulling back. The Axeman can be going to town on the Ursa as Eric's army looks like it is no more, maiden.
Oh, look at the military population, 36 to 120, 25, 22, 19, 16. Are you kidding me?
We have ourselves a game number 5. Let's go. Let's go. What a game. What a game, man. What an absolute. Oh, I'm speechless. Give me something.
Military tab right now, vodka. Military tab. Who cares about the silly economy? That was not the story. Here's the story. 66 units killed compared to 32. That's pretty big, dude. When we only had like what, one legit big engagement, a little engagements here and there, 66 to 32 is big, man. That's double for El Matador. Those raiding cavalry melted against the camel riders. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Even with Tusk of the Iron Boar.
Just the execution from El Matador, the steel nerves to know I don't need to take this fight against the Fleming weapons. I'm going to run. I'm going to use the speed advantage from my Eclipse. That Locust there was brutal. But yeah, using this speed, dealing with the raid on his gold mine, causing all the idle time in the main base, keeping most of his units alive from the Fleming weapons, and causing economic damage. This was just, the awareness here. The awareness from El Matador, it was just on another level.
Oh, yeah. Oh man, those things were so close to getting caught. Holy smokes.
Yeah, that was a great move from Eric to block the path there, but just couldn't quite get the wedge in there.
Indeed. Those camels, man, they're pretty low HP, a lot of them, but still, by the time that big fight actually, Pharaoh for the win, dude. That sneaky Pharaoh for the win. It's so funny. I meant to do that.
I meant to do that. Hello there.
That's a good point. Sunny Day called it out in the chat. When you use Eclipse and Locust at the same time, Eclipse boosts Locust. So that Locust on the Vills could have been just a smidgen stronger if you used Eclipse a few seconds earlier. Anyway, this is the big engagement. The disappearance of the freaking raiding cavalry. Dude, look at those bodies.
It was a mix of Spearman, Camel Rider, and it's just like, what do you think raiding cavalry beat those? No. They do not. They do not beat those, and everything else just melts. Yeah,
dude.
One point, Maiden. With Locust, while Locust does get more damage dealt, it moves faster. So, which means it's going to spend less time on units. So, it does more damage, spends less time on units. So, the end, whether or not you get the damage done, is up to if the villager is moving with the Locust. It's a bit of a funny one, but I feel like it was just. Anyways, it doesn't matter, man. We've got another game. We've got one last game here for this qualifiers, or at least this series here. El Matador, EricBR, Zeus versus Chrome. Now, this is a matchup I would have in a previous patch, maybe 1 month, not pretty recently, to be honest. I would have said Zeus has got all of the tools here in this match. But I know the chat, there's going to be some top players just going to shake their head at what I'm going to say here now. The Cairo Ballaster has been brought up to a level where I think it is very much usable. Especially when you get mixing in Murmillo, Promethean, Catapulti, if there's going to be some Hippias in there. And you can start dealing with those hoplites. It's not easy, but on a map like Alfheim, with the choke points, depending on the spawn, I think there's an angle. I think this is going to be a really, really interesting game.
You think that's the main crux, the main caveat
Yes, the main weakness of Kronos is he doesn't have access to Bite of the Shark to make his to bring his Murmillo up to kind of level with the hoplites. So then you have to ask, well, how do I kill a hoplite? Arcus are decent, but you don't get them till the heroic age. So you need something to keep going earlier, and that's going to be specifically hero Caraballister is what you really want. So use the Valor on those. And
Well, so what about so many times I've seen somebody shouting out soup in chat. What are they called? Promethean spam. Greek
yeah,
historically
yeah,
struggles with myth units. That's also I know hoplites are strong, rest are blah blah blah, but still, I don't know. There's maybe some potential there with Prometheans as well.
and normally,
Um,
normally I like the idea of like a one town center Chronos Prometheans to like punish a sort of uh how do I put this? Like the no thought town center grab on a bad map. So if somebody is just
mhm.
going for blind second town center, it's not really caring about the map, you can punish that with Prometheans and stuff like that. The map's really good for a far second town center, like it often is with Alfheim. It's not going to be as easy because you can kind of hide behind town centers, hide behind walls, and those Prometheans aren't going to quite be able to get in there. But you never know. Alfheim is such a like you roll the dice on this map. It could be completely open. It could be really closed. The gold mines could be behind your base. The gold mines could be in front. If you're really, really lucky, like me, once upon a time, you could get like 4 gold mines on one area. I think it was like, dunk, dunk, dunk. So yeah, there's some stuff. There's some potential.
There's some stuff. Alfheim's got some stuff, everybody, if you didn't know. Well, I think, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Okay, so first things first is going to be the map spawn. And map spawn first things first, and then after that, probably Cairo numbers or Promethean numbers. 2 big caveats probably to look out for. Okay. Anything, I mean, is there any possibility for things to go late? We saw a really late game, a kind of late game, a kind of funky couple other games. Is there any potential for us to see something late? And if so, I mean, historically speaking, Zeus would just crush any Atlantean in late game. But things are definitely different these days. So, what's your opinion on Kronos versus late game? If it goes there, I'm not saying I don't know if we will, but
If Eric had Zeus, I would say Eric will put like a ton of villages onto the favor, and like he's gonna spam god power, spam myth units, and be very challenging for the Chronos. I've not seen El Matador playing Zeus once. I've got no idea what his style is, but nonetheless, yeah, I think Zeus has got some shenanigans. Looks like alrighty. It looks like we're in the game. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but fighting through these technical difficulties. Game number 5. Introduce the players in the left-hand corner of the map playing as Zeus. His name is El Matador. And in the right-hand corner of the map playing as Kronos, EricBR. The shanking begins, maiden. It's already off.
Well, so clearly El Matador is not interested in any Promethean spam, so he's willing to sacrifice that villager time going after the Oracle. Not a bad idea, dude. Not a bad idea.
That hurts. We've already got the Prometheus well and truly on the way. Sort of looks like it's just a 3:30 advance time, but El Matador with a fairly late advance time himself here. So he will be under some early pressure. That being said, Eric didn't send a Temple Fort with an Oracle.
Oh, that's a good point. So then what is he gonna do? Okay, yeehaw, he's heroic or classical at 3:30 roughly, but what's he doing? I mean, he's staying home. Usually you'd be seeing some Prometheans in the base.
I imagine Eric's going for a fast encounter because it's stock standard and it's all not Alfheim. Having flashbacks. Alfheim like game plan. Fast advance time, pressure opponent, put a town center down. Now Eric's lost out on the early pressure because he lost the Oracle, but he's still going to be getting that town center. Set up, he's getting his wood, getting his gold, the mana to come down.
Okay, so boy, like we were talking about earlier, it really depends on choke points and depends on gold mine positions, town centers, etc. You know, depending on what these players are going to do. Would you say the Promethean play is a way to go? The 2TC Kyra Ballista slow play is a way to go? What do you think Eric would be ideal for Eric here?
Well,
I'm
the question is like, what are you seeing from El Matador? Obviously, Eric is going for a town center, so he's already committed to this. He has no vision. He's got no idea what's coming for him.
yeah.
El Matador is getting himself his upgrade for the heroes. He's moving through, trying to get some pressure on. Killing off a villager, he would be huge, but these are hero citizens, so they're not going to die anytime soon. As the hoplites are coming through for El Matador, and he is just going to be going for it. It looks like it's going to be all pressure all the way here, which means Eric's going to be used to this, I'm sure. But he doesn't know what's coming. He's got to be expecting a Techno Town Center or something, because that's normally what happens. Which does give the element of surprise to El Matador.
Okay. Well, is he gonna lose this thing? He's trying to pick off the Minotaur, man. That could be big. But is it worth his sacrifice? Oh, Minotaur goes down. Hero citizen saved. Well done by Eric right there.
Yeah, that was always going to happen. You see the bar going down slowly. Well, I'm just going to run for the tower when it's low enough, and he gets the kill. I think Eric he's off into this game. Both players have had some hiccups here. The challenge is going to be reading these hoplites. Now, El Matador, I don't think he should show the hoplites. It looks like he's going to. If he shows these, then
until he has a group.
Then yeah, if he shows these, then Eric knows what's coming, and we'll probably see Kyra Ballista out straight away. Otherwise, you'd see Terma. See the Terma queued up, and he might actually cancel that and go for something else right now. There we go. I'm in the mind of EricBR right now. He hasn't started the Kyra Ballista because he doesn't have the resources, but I'm sure there it is. So yeah, this is something that maybe could have been avoided, but El Matador wants pressure. He wants villager kills here. He wants Eric to be under the pump.
Under the pump? He wants him to be under the pump?
That's a saying. It's a thing, okay?
Is that a thing? Okay. And there's a second
town center. Oh, okay. Okay, no, okay. Maybe I'm not in the mind of I'm in the mind of Eric. I'm not in the mind of El Matador. Some sort of a fake rush here. Eric might overcommit to this and make a ton of Kyra Ballista here. Just one is all he needs to hold everything off. Just one is all he needs.
Yeah, but like you said from the beginning, is that the worst thing in the world? Because it's hoplite numbers and Kyra Ballista numbers. That's kind of, the crucial point of what we were talking about earlier. So yes, there is the caveat of potential Promethean spam at the same time, but a big question is how well can Kronos deal against hoplites? And yeah, if he's prompted to go into Kyros from the get-go, yeah, it's kind of playing into what he wants from the beginning, eh?
Yeah. Yes, so we see Terma getting sniped down, but he might lose it. Never mind. Everyone's okay. Loses the Promethean. Everything's fine.
It's all fine, folks. Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
So yeah, this is interesting. Like, Eric has, I don't know, he's kind of been forced into producing some Kyra Ballista, which he might not want. He might want, I don't know. But El Matador got his town center up much later than he probably could have. So, in terms of where the next part of this game goes...
Wait, why are you saying he might not want the Kyro numbers? There's hoplites out.
There are, but he might be wanting to have maybe just gone to the heroic age for those Arcus instead. Because this is not going to be a big attack coming through. It's just going to be a couple of hoplites, because now there's a town center up El Matador. This early attack. It's just like a big weird... like just slight deviations through the early game. You know what I mean? Like it's just like a different way to find yourself in a slightly different position to throw your opponent off their game.
Okay, fair enough. Hero's getting a little bit of damage, not too shabby, I guess. And that's a third town center coming in for El Matador that we saw a second ago. So he's going 3 TCs, probably just going for Maxville. He's not really producing anything else. Is he going to go 3 TC? Well, okay, so try and remove your brain from Eric's brain.
Yep.
done. El Matador's brain. 3 TCs into some hoplite defense against Terma and just go for eco boom into, you know, like some heroic mythic play. Is that what he's going for here?
I guess. I
Is that a
mean,
good
it seems
idea?
like the idea is just gonna hold whatever Eric's 2 town center pressure is gonna be. And I imagine
Mhm.
Eric's 2 town center pressure is gonna be get me to the Mythic Age, click implode, send my units forward.
Yeah.
That's a very, very solid game plan here against what El Matador's doing, but you still have to execute. And El Matador
Yes.
can still just hold. Like if he does good defense, like maybe it's not gonna work. So then all the advantage is just in El Matador's back pocket.
Hmm. Well, interesting. Interesting. Well, for
Stars
the
have to come up. It's got to set up all the economy. All this stuff has to happen first and foremost. And
yeah.
yeah, it's Eric's got a lot of time here to get some damage done. He's going to have to get it done, otherwise the strong Greek army is going to be very, very strong.
Well, Hyperion's coming in. It's halfway there through Hyperion, so maybe, you know,
Yep.
maybe that's chaos. There's really nothing to chaos. Is Hyperion really going to be that valuable? It opens up his opportunity to get a palace and go mythic, like you said, or maybe some heroic push. You know, if he really doesn't see a lot of pressure or units from El Matador, maybe get the jump on him and go aggressive early on, take map control, TC control, something like that. That's possibly an option, I guess. But implode's such a big valuable power spike. Maybe that's the plan, regardless. Nice pick.
Yeah, the thing he's going for Contarius. I'm a little surprised on this because all the map is walled up. You're playing against hoplites. You don't have Thea for the boosted cavalry, but he's going to be going for it anyways. Maybe he feels like he's got to get some economic damage in. What I was expecting is Arcus and Destroyer potentially, or Satyr and Mermillo. Just anything to kind of deal with those hoplites and get some ability to sort of push through a town center, or alternatively just drop a palace and go straight to the Mythic Age.
Well, he's getting Gemino, if that's still what it's called. Gemino,
Yep,
the upgrade for the Daily Hoppers.
So it's definitely making some of those. He's only recently got himself up to Oracles, right? He's got 5 out now, but they haven't been out for very long, and I think they're overlapping each other a little bit in the main base.
Not quite ideal. Ooh, not quite ideal favor. Ooh, income for him.
And Dionysus is on the way. Dionysus is a great counter to Hyperion, right? Like Chaos units, but they've got heaps of armor. No problem.
Heaps of armor.
Well, yeah, you get heaps of armor, no? You put bronze down onto Chaos comes. Jab each other with their spears, but they're not going to do any damage. Right?
Absolutely. I still think the Australianisms are still funny to me. You chuck down heaps of armor. Okay, here we go. There's military buildings are out. Things are starting to things are getting real here for our little Greek boy. He's got to be careful not to, to delay the military production too long. Otherwise, he could get himself into a sketchy situation.
Sure. One idea at the moment for El Matador, at the moment I think he's okay, but one idea would be to evacuate that Ford town center with all the villagers. He's got the wall behind. He's got an escape route, and just allow this town center to go down while he masses up his big army. Then he pushes back once he's got through, because he's already got all the economy. He's got 85 villages. His economy is really, really good. So he just needs to let that economy work for him, get the resources, get the income, and get the units out and the upgrades as well. But he might not even need to do that at this point, because I don't think Eric's got the pushing potential with the Contarius here.
Yeah, I agree. By the way, Sarissa was stopped. Sarissa was coming in. Sarissa was stopped with that military barracks going down. So that's an unexpected little bonus for Eric.
Eric is starting to cook up a bit of a score lead, but sometimes it doesn't really mean a whole lot when you look at the actual difference here. We'll see how it's going to work. Is the town center going down? Is Eric actually making ground up on that top spot? More hoplites to come through. Heavy infantry coming in as well. Takes a while for that to finish off. as a whole bunch of Ontaris do get caught out here.
Is it going to save
And I
any
guess
of them? No.
no. And I
Wow.
guess here's the other thing, right? With with these Kari Ballista that I don't think, like I said, we really didn't want a whole lot of them. They die basically instantly to those Peltas. They can clean them up very, very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
And from
Oh.
huge range. And one's down. There you go. I think El Matador's held. I think he's in a good spot.
Well, I mean, both players are basically full eco numbers, but a Matador has a little bit of some initiative in terms of map control. Looking at the economy, Eric's pretty dadgum close to going Mythic. He's pre-queued it.
Yeah, I mean, this is the moment, right? If El Matador can catch this,
catch what? What do you mean?
Bronze and A move. Catch this Mythic Age. Bronze and A move. Otherwise, he's going to lose these dudes. He's got to attack. It looks like he is. Eric is running away. These hoplites are going to come forward. El Matador is full pop. He's ready to go.
Yeah, it's about time.
Oh. There's the bronze. There's the restoration. Getting back up to full HP. Not going to lose any units here. Bronze and restoration down. There is, I don't know what, like 90 seconds remaining on this Mythic Age. 2 minutes for it to come through, right? Or is it a minute and a half? 2 minutes. 2 minutes for it to come through.
Yeah.
So he's still got a good amount of time here as the watchtowers to come in. 20 seconds left to bronze. The army is just going to retreat away. I don't know about chasing the Kontaris. Just kill off buildings, try and get damage done, go after villages, spread out that army. We see Eric grabbing himself another town center on the left-hand corner as El Matador trying to push forward with those Peltas. Does get some good damage done as the army has to retreat away.
I don't see it, boy. Bronze is done. Like, Resto is done. Bronze is done. I don't see it. He hasn't done squat aside from take out a palace. I don't see it, man. Implode is going to be brutal. He's going to have to realize Implode's coming in and just spread out his units like nuts.
Is it going to be brutal, though? Like, he loses all these units. Look at the production queue. There's so many units in there that he's just going to be able to get them back out. Look at the resources as well. I think El Matador losing this army is not going to be enough. Eric's got not much left in... He's 165 population, maybe.
Dude, it's a good point. Okay, fair point, but still, can he maintain it, I guess? He's got Hera... Is that Hera? Is Hera queued up? Pre-queued up, rather.
Pre-queued, he's going up. And he's got another restoration coming in a few seconds as well. He's got the favor in the bank. 170 favor in the bank. Another bronze can come through as well, Maiden. Not that you want to drop it when Implode's coming, but anyways, afterwards.
Yes, yes. There it is. There it is. How brutal is it going to be?
The units are going to run away. He's fine. I don't think this Implode is going to get the damage. He's going to lose a lot of units. Population is dropped down to 160. But it's going to immediately come back up as the hoplites get queued.
Okay. Okay.
Bolt onto one of the Argus. The earlier you use the bolt, the faster it comes off cooldown. Other very, very good quotes, am I right?
Well, okay, so, but here's the thing, there's the map control that El Matador has already established. Like you said, boom, he's almost back up to, he's getting there, back up to full population once again. But he also already has the map control so that Eric doesn't really have pushing potential here. He doesn't really have much of a military advantage either. Maybe you're right, dude. I guess it seems like you're right. It seems like you're right. El Matador is chilling. No problemo after that implode.
And not only that, Lightning Storm. Lightning Storm is 30 seconds away, which is ouch town for Atlantean army. And I guess, I mean, the simple move here for El Matador is just to aim at that top town center. There's a palace there. There's a town center there. I mean, we're kind of talking about it like this game is on a timer for Eric. I don't actually know if that's the case. I haven't played this matchup that much, so maybe there's something in the late game. If Eric keeps on motoring ahead, gets his economy all sorted, maybe there's something in the late game for him in terms of like time shift shenanigans and things like that. But his army is going to be very, very hurting after this Lightning Storm.
Indeed. Look at the pop drop. Oh! It got everything. Oh, ouch! That had to hurt.
Yeah,
Okay.
147 pop. Let's find some villager kills on the bottom.
Okay. Here's the thing, Boyd. I think the Cantarius, Eric went for Cantarius, but he never really used the Cantarius. So he made
Yeah.
Cantarius into hoplites, exactly like what you said, but he never really got a lot of raiding, a lot of pushing. He didn't really get a lot of value from those Cantarius. So throughout the kind of mid to late heroic stage, it seems like El Matador held the possible Cantarius pressure just fine, no problemo. Now it's kind of biting Eric in the butt because he's ultimately, they're still hoplites. Like the implode didn't straight up delete the hoplite numbers. They're back, they're in black, and they're ready for action. And so the Cantarians just aren't doing it. They're not quite cutting
it. Yeah, and Eric's trying to get through. There's another restoration to insult to injury, but Eric's trying to get through and get raids happening, but he just has no population. He's got no income. He's at 94 villages, but he doesn't have any military buildings either. 4 military barracks only. The Cantarius get cleaned up. The villagers popping out to try and repair this one in. Eric's chances and hopes and dreams of making it into the main event seemingly getting smaller and smaller as some Arc is coming over to help out, but the Peltast are there to send them packing.
Indeed. The hoplites are going to send everything else packing. He might be sending Eric packing here in a few minutes. This is his last chance, though. Eric's dude. Remember the what's the peach blossom? No. Great swamper. I don't know. Whatever. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say maybe Eric is gonna fight, but El Matador claims the victory and moves on to the main event. Eric gets knocked out 3-2, 2 days in a row. Ay. It's gotta sting a little bit, man.
Yeah,
Poor guy.
That was just a well-played game from El Matador from the very beginning. I think this was, at the start of this series, I was talking about how Eric has the strategy and El Matador has got like the RTS mechanics. We kind of saw that a little bit in that hour-long game, Gaia versus, I want to say it was Shenong, maybe it was Fushi. But anyways, we saw it in that game where El Matador's mechanics was carrying it. But in that last game, that was so strategically smart. Like at the start, goes for the early pressure, reveals the hoplites on purpose, it seems, to Eric, forces out those Cairo Ballast, or not even forces, he just gets the Cairo Ballaster out, decides, okay, now it's time to go in for a town center, and he just kind of threw the natural progression of this matchup out the window. And with that all in mind, execution in the end, just chef's kiss from El Matador in game 5 there.
Indeed, man. Indeed, I agree, and I was completely wrong. As we're watching this bronze come in, I was in the implode, the eventual implode. I thought that with implode coming in, I know that El Matador's economy was pretty sick, right? His production, you can see the production behind that upcoming match graphic. But I thought he didn't really accomplish much of anything with bronze and restoration, and therefore the implode would be brutal. And the implode hurt, but like you said, he had plenty of infrastructure behind that to just walk straight past it, no problemo.